baseball to play.
It's the Orioles on Masson, and here at Camden Yards tonight, it's the renewal of the rivalry in the American League East. Second time this season, the Orioles will take on the Red Sox. This is the first of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne for the Orioles, trying to find those big hits. As Dave Tremblay said, a lot of the season left to go. This is going to wrap up April, and for the Orioles, they can't get rid of it fast enough because the wins just have not come. But for the O's, maybe things will get turned around if the starting pitching can maintain what it's doing and maybe even get a little bit better. Let's take a look at what happened in the first series with the Red Sox. Red Sox took 2 out of 3. The Orioles actually had a better batting average, only a 1-run difference. Home runs were equal, but it's down there at the bottom, the starting ERA, the big differential. And for the Orioles, they could not get those key hits with runners in scoring position. That has bothered them, Jim Palmer, all year.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do it against John Lackey, and we've seen ace after ace after ace come into Camden Yards. And again, against Sabathia, they got 11 hits but only 3 runs, and that was one of the few times that the starting pitching wasn't very good. So the good news for the Orioles, last year they played the Red Sox 18 times. They won twice. If they win tonight, they'll have already matched last year's total. Big game for the Red Sox because they have not had a below 500 record in the last 13 years. They come in at 11-11.
For the month of April, they're going to wrap it up and try and keep that alive. Now, for David Hernandez, folks, this pitcher is due. There is nobody else who has made 13 starts in the American League and not picked up a win in any of those 13 consecutive games. He is at the top of that pile, and it's a pile he'd just as soon get off. Look at that, 2 total runs of support. That's when he's been on the mound pitching in those games. You just think the law of averages has got to come to his favor soon.
Well, that's up to his offense. And the one thing I like about David, who really got hurt by the home run ball last year, threw 13 in his last 27 innings pitched. This year it's been totally different. He worked on a 2-seamer. We even saw that in his last start. He's had back-to-back starts now against Boston. He had them at least not beat, but he was ahead 1-0 going into the 6th inning in Boston. They had a 3-run inning. The Orioles would come back to win that ball game with some late runs, not while he was pitching, but I see an improved pitcher. Is he as good as John Lackey? We're going to have to wait and see.
All right, Orioles take the field. The Orioles again catch the Red Sox without 2 of their regulars. Jacoby Ellsbury is still out. Mike Cameron is still out. So if you want to get wins, do it when you're playing them while they are down. Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. It really is a gorgeous evening here in Baltimore. Record high temperatures are expected this weekend, but tonight, folks, it could not be nicer. Some young fans on hand to watch the Red Sox and the Orioles play here in the first of 3. Let's take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the Red Sox, Scudero, Pedroia, and Martinez. Youkilis, Drew, and Ortiz. Beltre, Hermida, and McDonald. Dustin Pedroia leading the Red Sox hits, home runs, doubles, and RBI.
And our scouting report on the 24-year-old right-hander disdain for the dinger. That really hurt him last year. He's faced 87 batters this year, has yet to give up a home run. And again, one of the tougher things for a young pitcher or any pitcher, especially when you're facing the Red Sox as they try to get over 500, is to pitch against them back-to-back. He's going to have to do that. And then again, not all his fault. Last 13 starts, no wins just in general, not specifically against the Red Sox.
So Hernandez will try and reroute those numbers and get them going the other way. You can see he's had runners on, more hits than innings pitched, 10 walks so far. David has struck out 14. Comes in again a 1-2 mark against the Red Sox. The fewest runs of support. Look at this. American League, David Hernandez right at the top there with Dontrell Willis, Ian Snell, Justin Masterson. The fewest runs, and that's while they're actually on the mound pitching.
And then, of course, if you take while, even when he left, it's only 10 runs. That's 2.5 runs a game over 4 starts. So, but his job, and you can't control that. What you can control is, can you get your breaking ball over, and or you have a good fastball that you can spot.
Marco Scudero leads it off, and he will take that one for a strike. Scudero, with a .282 average, comes in with a 3-game hit streak. He had a very good series against the Orioles in Boston this year. He went 3 for 12, a homer, and 3 RBIs against the Orioles. And he starts out with a long ball to left field. Luke Scott with room. 1 out.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch grips for David Hernandez, the 4-seamer, which is what Scudero just got to the warning track, base of the wall in left field. And again, primarily a fastball. There's a changeup he's been working on. He's had a pretty good breaking ball up at Fenway Park. The slider we talked about, and then he throws another pitch. Maybe a little version where he takes a little bit off. It's probably held the same way, and that's what we would call a slurve.
Here's Dustin Pedroia, the Red Sox leader in the first month in much of their offense. Now, average, that's not necessarily true. He's upped it to .293, though, with 5 homers, 16 RBIs. He's really been outstanding. With the Orioles with the Red Sox missing Cameron and Jacoby Ellsbury. David Hernandez against him, 3 for 13, and the home runs, 3 of them for Pedroia against Hernandez.
Well, high ball hitter, high ball pitcher, trying to get away from that. There's
no
a good
play.
pitch, yeah, and the 2-seamer that he works on, it's just to try to get the ball down. But another way of doing that, even if you throw a 4-seam fastball, is your head position. If he gets off to the left, where he'll fall off towards first base, pitches get up, and if he can able to take the front shoulder, the chin, and that nose, drive it to the catcher's mask, the ball will get down in the strike zone, more effective.
Ahead on the count on Pedroia, 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pedroia, a towering pop up, third base side. Tahada.
Yeah, high sky. So again, take a look at the defense. We've seen a couple of them. Scott already with a catch in left. Jones, Gold Glover last year. Markakis should own a Gold Glove. He'll just have to bring his regular brown one out there. Great right fielder. Tahada is tourist, won a Gold Glove 2004. Wigington hot with the bat, playing pretty well at second base. Garrett Atkins back in the lineup after a couple of hits, and Matt Wieters trying to get untracked. And there's Jeremy Ellsbury, and he was out warming up and doing his routine to 4 cracked ribs.
He looks pretty good, and he says he's probably going to be ready to go here within a week. But Cameron's another story.
Probably have to change his name to Jacoby.
That's right.
What happens when you don't play?
People forget who you are.
At least I got half the name right.
That's right.
But that's what he brings. And again, they haven't stole a lot of bases, 9 out of 12, and Cameron also a Gold Glover. I don't know if he's going to be back. And talking to him, he's really having some problems with that abdominal strain.
And like Cameron right now, it's just up for grabs. They don't know.
Well, he said that the problem with that abdominal strain, if he really exacerbates it, he could be out for months. Doesn't want to do that.
Victor Martinez doing the catching. He is batting third in the lineup. Martinez will take the breaking ball. For David Hernandez this year, the left-hander is hitting only .226 off him. It's the right-handers who've done the damage, hitting .292 against him. That's a .276 overall mark against Hernandez coming into the ballgame. 1-2 delivery. Martinez a strike, and that's out. So Hernandez gets the strikeout and has a 1-2-3 inning. Red Sox are retired when we
a 6'6" right-hander out of Abilene, Texas. Another ace the Orioles have to contend with. They did see him pitch very well. Actually got the win up in Boston. Gave up 3 runs. Home run to Wigington. 9-3 lifetime against the Orioles. And loves the yard. 3 runs or less in his last 5 starts. So that's what you pay a lot of money for. Consistency. And other than in Tampa Bay 17-5, that's his only bad outing where they pounded him.
Red Sox are 2-2 in the 4 starts that he has made. He is 2-1. Adam Jones going after the first pitch will foul it off. Adam definitely trying to get the bat going again with that average hanging around that 200 mark. 204 right now. 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and only 5 RBIs. That one ripped into left field. He's got a base hit. He was on the button on that one. Hermida will get it back in. Leadoff single for the Orioles.
Well, right-handers are hitting .395. You get a pretty good idea. Our crack reporter Amber said, well, what's going on with Lackey? I said, I think it's a lack of command in the strike zone. We saw that up in Boston. You know, a pitch down, and he swung over, and then one right inside middle, not way in, kind of in the middle of the plate. And Adam Jones, who went back to hitting 101 with Terry Crowley today, gets a base hit to lead it off.
Last year, the left-handers off Lackey were .247, and it's jumped all the way to .395, as Jim said, this year. So, obviously, a very real change. Here's Nick Markakis, who will look to continue that advantage. Nick is 8 for 25 lifetime off Lackey. Orioles getting the leadoff man on. The Orioles have not won a ball game this year where the opponent scores first. 0-10. They would like to get on the board first in this one, and that one's got to be into the corner. Chased down by J.D. Drew. Jones on his way to third. Drew gets it in. He'll be held, and no play at second. A Markakis double, and the bats here in the first inning. The first 2 hitters are on.
Yeah, the Orioles up in Boston got 2 early runs, but that was in the second inning with 4 straight hits. You can see right there, a little breaking ball right to the bat head. And maybe the Orioles bat with the weather will warm up. They've been getting hits, but now it comes down to exactly what's going to happen for Matt Wieters. Can you get him in when you get him in running scoring position? And they're probably going to play their infield back carry. If you had a routine ground ball to the right side, you'll get a run in, and then you'll get the runner to third. I mean, it's just those situational hitting that you always talk about. See if the Orioles can do it.
John Lackey's had a lot of people on base, as you saw, with 11+ hits per 9 innings pitched. Wieters had a 5 for 11 in Boston. But here's where the Orioles have had all of their problems this year at the plate. They continue last in the majors, 193, with runners in scoring position. So Dave Tremblay, as he said before the game's got to come around. Just got to come around. We've got to start getting key hits. That's why we're not winning ball games.
35% of their runs have come on the home run ball.
Wieters with an RBI, 2 RBI opportunity right here if he can pick up a base hit. 1-0 count. Matt Ford for 22 with runners in scoring position. Make it 5 for 23. And the Orioles have a 1-0 lead. Jones scores and Wieters gets the RBI. It was a lack of warm weather, clearly.
Well, let's watch this approach. Fastball. I mean, look at that pitch. That's on the outside corner, maybe a little bit off it. So, again, part of the deal is Lackey throws, 91 to 93, and the Orioles getting good pitches to hit and not missing them. That's the key to clutch hitting.
8th RBI for Matt Wieters. Well, Wieters on. Now runners at first and third. Still nobody out. And Miguel Tahada. Tahada put up solid numbers. 297 lifetime off Lackey and 1 home run. Goes after the first one. It'll get a run in. Center field McDonald. Tagging up at third Markakis. Throw will come into second base. And the Orioles have a 2-0 lead. Tahada the RBI.
Well, nice hitting right there. Nice play by Darnell. McDonald, your emotional thing is, hey, I'm going to try to throw out Nick Markakis, but that's unrealistic.
RBI number 11 for Tahada.
Well, there's your situational hitting. Look for a ball you can get in the air off a guy that sinks the ball pretty well when he's pitching well, John Lackey, and you get your second run.
2-0 lead. Still only 1 away. Runner at first base. Wieters stays there. Here is Luke Scott. Scott's had 3 hits against Lackey, 3 for 8, 2 of those 3 home runs. So he's playing in left field in this ball game. And Scott will take the pitch down low for a ball.
Yeah, he doubled up the gap to left center field to drive in Matt Wieters in the 2-run second inning last weekend up in Boston.
John Lackey in his starts this year, the 8 runs against Tampa Bay, as Jim said, the most. The others 0, 2, and 3. The Orioles have 2 off him here in the first inning and only 1 out. Luke Scott on the big cut on a pitch down and a 1-1 strikeout on Luke.
Well, that's why, and you know this as well as anybody, that's why sometimes numbers are a little misleading. You look at the ERA over 5 runs a game, you figure, boy, he's really been horrible. But 3 good starts, 1 bad. And on his way to a one that's not going to be the way he wants it to go if the Orioles can continue to get some good pitches to hit.
1-1 delivery. Scott swings ahead of that one. Lackey here in this ballpark is 4-3. This is the 8th start he's had here at Camden Yards. He's got a very fine 3.72 ERA in this park. 1 ball, 2 strike count. There's Francona. He has concerns about this Red Sox team. They are 6 games behind Tampa Bay, the leaders in the East. Their record of 500. Scott will take that, and it is down low, and a 2-ball, 2 strike count.
Now, we told you the numbers, 395 against right-handers and 269 against left-handers, so much better against hitters like Luke Scott. And I think the reason is, and I went through this, my changeup was better effective to lefties like this. The right-handers take that pitch away, and it's a good one for John Lackey.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be down in a 3-2 count. So Scott works into the 3-2. John Shelby talking with Wieters at first base now. Do you want him to run here with only 1 away? On a 3-2 count, the Orioles have had the long ball, have the double play ball, has jumped up on him a number of times this year to wipe out innings. Runner does go. Martinez trouble getting it out of the glove and still gets him. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. The Orioles get 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. And the O's take the early lead, 2-0.
Yeah, he tags him way up on the leg. And, you know, most shortstops that I played with, and of course they were terrific shortstops, whether it was Aparicio, Belanger, and then Cal, they just dropped the glove. And if you drop the glove, ball beat him, though. That's the only reason he's called out. And he double clutched. So, again, it was an awfully good throw, not a great tag. Scudero already with 3 errors.
So the stolen base margin moves a little as Martinez gets his 3rd in 30 chances. And that one drilled in the air center field. Kevin Youkilis. Jones is there. And Youkilis is retired. Tonight's second inning brought to you by Luna. Call today for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. Call 877-241-LUNA. Most doubles in April. Orioles, single season, 96 Cal. 2003, Gary Matthews Jr. 8 players tied with 9 most Oriole doubles in the month of April. Believe it or not, last game in the month of April. How can that be? Pitch is going to be taken for a strike. J.D. Drew. Drew has had his problems getting started, hitting 181. A couple of home runs, 10 RBIs. The 0-1 delivery by Hernandez, and that's in the air. Left center field, ball carrying back. Scott back at the wall. Scott goes up, and goodbye home run. J.D. Drew just out of the reach of Luke Scott, and Drew gets his 5th home run at Camden Yards.
And the first one that David Hernandez throws all year. Strike 1, watch the fastball. Yeah, pretty much center cut, and the ball carrying much warmer. I mean, that's right down the middle. And Luke back. Well, just another foot taller. So he's got to be close to 7 feet to catch that ball. You need an NBA guy for your outfield.
Out there.
Yes.
So that makes it a 2-1 ball game as Drew delivers his 3rd home run, 11th RBI.
You know, it's interesting. We always talk about the effects of the Green Monster. That would have been a double at Fenway, and here it's a home run.
Both of these ball clubs use the home run ball, as you see, to score runs. In the American League, the Red Sox are 3rd and the Orioles 5th in highest percentage of runs that come off home runs. And Ortiz will take it up high. David Ortiz, DH roll. Ortiz got his first home run at Fenway against the Orioles. He's hitting 154 and still just the 1 homer, 4 RBIs.
Yeah, that was off Jeremy Guthrie on a 2-1 fastball to deep left center field. And they let him swing 3-0. Well, they had a pinch hit for him earlier in the week up in Toronto with Mike Lowell. And they brought in the lefty reliever, Cito Gaston, matching up. And
The irony is that Ortiz has hit better against the
lefties.
Lefties, yes. Not by much because he hasn't hit much. 3 ball, 1 strike count. David Hernandez.
Well, look at the crouch he's in. I mean, this is a new stance for David Ortiz, and I mean, he's in a severe.
3-1 delivery to him, and 4 pitches. He is on with a walk. That may be off legend because he's not somebody you want to be walking right now.
Well, I think the home run had something to do with it. Rick Kranitz, the Oriole pitching coach, said David Hernandez had one of his best sides because he was really quiet. As we look at the earned run average of teams, and Kansas City, of course, leading. The Red Sox aren't supposed to be where they are. And then the Angels, of course, they lost John Lackey. He's pitching for the Red Sox, and then the White Sox, who have been struggling, with the exception of Paul Konerko, who's got 10 home runs. But it seemed like the home run, all of a sudden David started to get a little bit out of sorts. So he's got to calm everything down, and when he starts going left, the ball gets up in the strike zone. And what's one ball down the middle? You're going to throw a lot over the course of 105 pitches or so.
Adrian Beltre with a 6-game hit streak coming in, hitting at 320, slow roller, may have a play at second base on Ortiz. They do. Well, the flick made by his Torres to Wigginton. The ball had almost stopped rolling by the time it got to his Torres.
Well, welcome to Camden Yards. You know, Boston has hard dirt and soft grass. We have soft dirt, soft grass, and a slow runner and a good breaking ball. That's a good combination to a fastball hitter. That's how you get the force. And his Torres knew it off the bat. That's why he's such a good shortstop.
Beltre now at first base, 2 down. Hermida hitting at 250 as he gets his playing time for the Red Sox outfield injuries, and Jeremy Hermida has stepped in, 6 for 19, 2 home runs over the last 9 ball games, coming off a 6 for 24 on the homestand for Boston. The Red Sox are 5 and 8 at home at Fenway. That's unbelievable, and 6 and 3 on the road. That's the reverse of what you would expect for Terry Francona's team, and they, like the Orioles, have both played 9 one-run games. The records, however, are reversed. Red Sox 6 and 3, the Orioles 3 and 6 in one-run affairs. 1 ball, 1 strike counter needed.
Yeah, normally, as we take a look at what goes on, I mean, normally last year they led the American League in batting average at home. So they scored more runs at home than on road. That's not the case, and you can look at the other numbers and get an idea why they're better on the road at 6 and 3.
Runner in scoring position number on the road, amazing, over 50 points higher on the road. And that pitch is going to be taken up high. Hermida had a 2 for 5 against the Orioles in the series in Boston. Hernandez, 4 wins, 13 losses in his career. Wants to be efficient as well as effective in this game and try and keep the pitch count down. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be foul back. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, the best way to do it is command your stuff early in the count. Put the pressure on the hitter. The Red Sox are up there in the lead leaguers with pitches taken. That's their MO, but they don't want to be hitting from behind. So you show them you can throw strikes, they'll be a little bit more aggressive. If you're behind, they're just going to look for their pitch. And that's when it.
Beltre's on at first. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Not going to get the high strike call there, and it goes full 3 and 2. So the runner will be going with 2 down here in the second. And Beltre's got good speed. As a result of that, Atkins, even with a left-handed batter, is going to stay a little bit behind just to keep Beltre from jumping too quickly. That one fouled off. He had some sizzling plays in Boston. Beltre did at third base against the Orioles. He started out with a couple of errors, then one got changed to a hit, and then for the rest of the game, he robbed Tahada 3 separate occasions of surefire hits. 3 ball, 2 strike delivery. Runner going again. Put in the air, center field. Jones back on the warning track to haul that one in. A run on a hit with a base runner left on. The home run by J.D. Drew, and a 2-1 Orioles lead. And let's see how that goes, Amber, here as he goes along. Here is Ty Wigginton. Wigginton continues hot. Comes in with a 6-game hit streak. 4 for 14 off Lackey with a homer. Big batting average against Lackey so far. And Wigginton with a big cut. Off Lackey at Fenway.
Yeah, the third run. The early 2 runs on 4 consecutive hits in the 4th inning. And then he's able to get one over the 37-foot wall to make it, at that time, 3-1 Orioles.
Wigginton with a big cut, and it'll go to a ball and 2 strikes. Ty with that .323 average and 12 RBIs continues, and 6 home runs, obviously, to be the leader on the Orioles. And being able to get big hits, drive runs in. He's 6th in homers in the league. And he'll take the pitch inside, and a 2-ball, 2-strike out. Highest averages against Boston since '09. Jorge Posada, Longoria, Matsui, then Wigginton and Markakis. So 2 of the top 5 highest averages against the Red Sox last 2 years, Oriole hitters. And got him on an off-speed delivery.
Well, we can sit here and tell you how to get Ty Wigginton out. And of course, John Lackey figures, you know what, I had trouble with my fastball in the 1st inning, so this guy had a home run on a fastball. I'll just try to throw him breaking balls, and then again, a lot of times your fate just depends on whether you can do it or not. Great breaking ball right there. First out here in the 2nd.
Our Exmo brought to you by H.H. Gregg. Here's Hughes. He takes it. Remind you that H.H. Gregg, we make buying TVs and appliances simple. H.H. Gregg, price and advice guaranteed. Made his major league debut in Fenway Park. Came through with that base hit and an RBI on the first major league pitch he ever saw. 0-1 delivery to him all the way to the backstop. Here's Hughes. Here's the at-bat.
Yeah, that was the 2nd inning, and he, for the runner on 1st and 2nd, he gets Luke Scott in with a double. So he was one of the 4 straight hits, but Montanez bound into double play. And Hammer made a good point. He really worked his way. 110 pitches, got himself into the 7th inning. Looked like he was going to pitch the 8th inning, and then the Red Sox had 2 3-run home runs, and the bullpen hung on.
1 double, 3 RBIs, and that one to right field is an atom ball. J.D. Drew awakened unceremoniously in right field, started in, moved back, makes the catch. That was one of those, whoa, there it is. He got it for the 2nd out. That'll bring up Atkins. Atkins, generally a really good hitter in the month of April in his career. It has not been the case this year. He's hitting .238 this month. His career average in April is .302. And a strike taken. 2 down, nobody on. The Orioles have the early 2-1 lead. We're in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Atkins batting in the number 8 spot with his Taurus on deck. And that will miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strikeout.
Well, what did the Oriole manager Dave Tremblay tell Garrett today? He said, go back to hit like you did in UCLA, where you were a 3-time All-American. Of course, Lackey wasn't pitching.
Check swing, and I think that hit the catcher. I don't think it hit the bat. I'm not sure. Maybe it did. Ricocheted away. Martinez acted as though it got him. I don't know if it got the bat first or not.
No, I don't think it hit the bat. I think it just kind of short hopped him and then kicked off to his left. A little breaking ball in the dirt.
He held up. 2 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. That didn't hit the bat either. And the count goes to 2-2. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Atkins getting the start at first base with Hughes still in the ballgame as the DH in this game tonight. 2-2 pitch to him, and he's gone. And that's a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts. 3 in the ballgame for Lackey. Orioles on top. Darnell McDonald, former Orioles #1 pick. McDonald said of coming back to Camden Yards to play. Are you excited? Not really. I have some bad memories from that place, to tell you the truth. That ball is going to be popped up. Shortstop is Turris. He's got it. Donald is retired. McDonald didn't play many games, only 17 played for the Orioles. First round pick back in '97. Since then, 6 different organizations. He's now 31 years old and getting some time with the Red Sox.
Yeah, he said Bill Evers, when he went to Tampa Bay, one of the stops, told him to use the whole field. He learned to, just learned about hitting because he was a football player, was going to go to the University of Texas when the Orioles drafted him. But he's got a big hit. He got a home run and a game-winning hit his first night.
Same game?
Sox. Yeah. And then a home run the next night.
Here's Marco Scudero, the leadoff batter. Scudero takes the bender for a strike. Scudero flied out to left field his first time up. In the leadoff spot. Excellent job on the road so far. He's hitting .364 in road games. 7th best average in the American League. And he punches that one to right. And that would be a foul ball.
A really good high ball hitter. We saw that with a 3-run home run up in Boston, and almost got one on the high inside fastball that David Hernandez threw.
Scudero has really loved this ballpark. He's hitting .354 lifetime here with 1 home run at Camden Yards. 0-2 delivery to him. Hernandez comes inside, and a 1-ball, 2-strike count. There are the numbers home and road so far this season. A number of Red Sox players have similar kind of numbers. That's why they're 5-8 at home and 6-3 on the road. 1-2 delivery on the way, and again right side. That'll be to the seats. Well, tomorrow's going to be an interesting matchup here in Game 2 of this series, with Brad Bergeson coming back from the minors to make the start for the Orioles, and Daisuke Matsuzaka making his first start of the year for the Red Sox. 1-2 delivery. Scudero takes it, and it will miss down low. 2-ball, 2-strike count. That'll be tomorrow night. 7:05 first pitch. 6:30 O's extra. Scudero's got a couple of home runs. Took over the leadoff spot. Dozen games in. That one to center. Like last night, some towering fly balls. 2 down. And Brad Bergeson's start tomorrow before the game today. Skipper Dave Tremblay had this to say.
He seems a lot more relaxed, a lot more sure of himself. He pitched very well down there. He got some good work in. I would expect you'd see Brad Bergeson return to the form that we're all accustomed to seeing when he pitches tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, we'll get a look. 2 pitchers, each team wondering, are they going to be all right?
Yeah, and Daisuke is going to get all kinds of opportunities, I would imagine, because Wakefield went to the bullpen, but he is lingering out there.
Dustin Pedroia will foul it away. Pedroia popped out his first time up.
Yeah, those were 2 really well. I mean, I'm circling all the hanging breaking balls. You were talking about the real high fly balls. One to Pedroia. He popped it up to third. That could have been a home run pitch. The same with the Darnell McDonald, and then the one to Scudero, even though he got it away, it was still up. So when he throws the ball down, as he's on an occasion, whether it's fastball or breaking ball, awfully good.
Waiters blocking that one, and 1-ball, 2-strike count on Pedroia.
But I always thought,
can he get win number 1?
Well, you're right, and I always thought when you throw a 95-mile-per-hour fastball down and away, and the guy just barely flicks it, I might try another one. I don't care if he's an MVP from 2 years ago.
Good on the first pitch strike so far. That's a long fly ball souvenir. It's foul.
And it wasn't on a fastball. I mean, he hung one the first time and got lucky. So you got to decide what you do. It's great to use all your pitches, but you have to decide what you do best. And he's working towards that. There's a lot of positive steps.
Dave Tremblay up front and center watching. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way again. Pedroia had a reach, got fooled. Hernandez gloves it, and gets the out. Good inning, retires the side in order. He has done that in the first 2 of 3. Orioles have the 2-1. Anytime. Good hair, too. On the other hand, that will be part of your hair within minutes. This is Torres. A 4-game hit streak for Torres coming into the ball game. Bottom half of the 3rd inning. Aki will miss on that 1-1. Torres in 4 straight, 3 multi-hit games in a row. His average has gone from 208 to 279 in 4 games.
Yeah, that's 7 for 13 will do. Get you up there in a hurry, especially early in the year.
Off the 1-1, 1-2.
And they take the bunt away from him. Adrian Beltre made a great play on a bunt that Cesar tried to do it in Boston. And the next day, Beltre said, well, he should know better because we played together when we were the Dodgers. Don't be doing that to me.
Beltre backs up with a 1-ball, 2-strike count on him. And it's Torres who got jammed, fouls it straight back. Instead, a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, John Lackey showing signs of what he did in Boston, which is giving up early runs and then really settling down.
Both of these ball clubs used to these tight games for the Orioles and the Red Sox. It just seems like every game has a scenario that does not change. The chapters are numbered differently, but the verbiage, same darn thing. Few runs, couple of runs, 1-run ball games, late innings. That one will go over to first, and Euclid there is Torres. Orioles, of course, continue to try and fill that #1 spot. Dave Roberts. Brian's here. See what happens when you're away for a long time?
Yeah, Jeremy Jacoby, yeah, they're all here tonight. Not playing.
Came back with the ball club. And they returned home, and still no baseball work. So no idea when Brian will be ready to come back. Jones delivered a single and scored in the 1st inning. Wieters had a single and an RBI. And Tahada picked up the 2nd RBI and a sac fly. Adam now at 212 on the year. In the role of a table setter in this spot. 1-1.
Yeah, what a good breaking ball, and that's what Lackey's gone to. A couple of mistakes with his fastball early on. The Orioles took advantage of it. Of course, if you'll swing at it, you'll throw it.
And that's the pitch. Pitchers have been showing Adam Jones because he has been swinging at it. 1-1 delivery on the way, and then you come right back stand him up, set up that pitch again.
Well, we talked about Terry Crowley, hitting instructor, the front arm, and when Adam got here, that front arm would kind of chicken wing and very long to the ball, and that's what they worked on, and just trying to do the one-arm drills. And of course, Adam, if you go back and chronicle last year, did make the All-Star team, did win a Gold Glove, but you know, since probably June 1st, he's hit somewhere around 230, and that's not what he did the first couple of months. So he just has to get back to getting into better habits at the plate. And then again, you got to solve guys like Lackey and Hernandez and Sabathia and Burnett.
2-2, that is away, and there was that pitch again.
And the theory, Gary, is pretty simple, that if your swing is shorter, you can wait a little bit longer. And we've seen time after time after time Adam do something which he didn't do the first 2 months of last year, and that's swing at that breaking ball. I mean, really looked like he was able to be a little bit quicker, wait a little bit longer, and be a little more disciplined at the plate, and it makes him harder to get him out.
Lackey's delivery to him, and they got him. That'll be strikeout number 4 for Lackey in the ball game. And there are 2 down here in the 3rd inning. Time for the AT&T Mobility Trivia question, and here it be: who holds the Orioles' single-season record for most RBI in April? Most RBIs in April for an Oriole.
Mike Bordick.
Mike Bordick. I'll go with Cal, and the answer is...
It is
2-1 Orioles. Miguel Tahada.
Now, didn't Bordick have like 27 or I think he's second. Not that coming in second is good, but ooh.
Nick Markakis. We're checking on that for you right now.
Why can't I ever get one right?
We don't know the answer, that's why.
Yeah, I know.
And we're not cheating. Simple answer is we should be cheating.
We should go to the press guy.
We should be looking, we just should be looking at the paperwork on the trivia question for the night and see what the answer is.
Oh,
that's cheating.
Yes, it is.
Okay. You'd be right every night.
We're not. Maybe. If you can read.
What confidence you have.
Well, you know, reading.
Nick Markakis had a double his first time up. 2 ball, 1 strike count with 2 down. Nick now at 282 on the year. Outfield deep, leaving him the gap in right center. And Markakis slices it the other way. 2-2.
See, Mike Bordick had 29, so I was almost right. That Tahada guy came over here as a free agent.
Ruined your answer.
Yes, it did.
Ruined your answer.
Fun to watch him drive in. I think that's probably the year he drove in 150 runs for the Orioles.
That would do it.
Yes.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way to Markakis. That one to left field. Hermida will play it on a hop. Markakis is 2 for 2 and 10 for 27 now off Lackey. And the Orioles with 2 down and a single.
Well, you talked about trying to jam him, and he cuts the ball in. You can see up and in, inside out. Not too many guys do it better than Nick Markakis, and just serves it into left.
Nick is hitting the ball again. And the Orioles will try and take advantage of it now with 2 away. Here's Matt Wieters. Picked up the RBI with a base hit in the first inning. Big play in the ball game after he got on was a strike him out, throw him out double play. Again, that loomed large and cut off a potential bigger inning in the first for the Orioles. With Scott up and 1 down, the decision to run Wieters to try and stay out of the double play ground ball ended up in a strike him out, throw him out double play. 0-1 count, Lackey. Orioles not had a chance to do very much running this season. Being behind in ball games.
Well, this is one of them. I mean, I think every time you have catchers that can't throw and six pitchers, that's got to be part of your game plan. I mean, Lackey doesn't give up a lot of home runs, and you have a catcher that, Wieters does not have great speed. They threw him out, even double clutched. So that's what, 2 out of 28 now. So it seems to me it's a good running situation.
The Red Sox have thrown out as a team now only 4 of 39 combined for Veritek and Victor Martinez, who's catching tonight.
Going to give you an idea.
Home plate umpire Cooper got that one.
Give you an idea that league average is usually up there at 28, maybe a little below 30%. So they're at about 7.5%. Well below average. inside protector. Good thing he has it. See, Matt Wieters trying to make it 4-1 on a Hagen slider. Not a good night to be a southpaw. Gary Cooper. You know, I noticed last Diaz umpired a couple of nights. Very few umpires throw the ball back to the pitcher.
And I applaud them for that.
Because the catchers have better arms?
No, well, no.
Oh, you mean if they do? Or if
no,
they don't?
I don't care who the catcher is. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Waiters. No, you know what used to drive my pet peeve? Umpires who throw the ball back, and the pitcher would either be jumping or reaching or bending. I mean, if they're going to do that, let the catcher do that. Give the ball to the catcher and let him throw it back, even if you have a great arm as an umpire. I just think that's just a smarter, more professional way to do it.
Well, I didn't like it when Steve Palermo had a better arm than I did at the end of my career.
Another problem.
Yes, it is.
2-2 delivery fouled off.
Well, here we go, Eric. There we go. Nice throw.
He did throw one.
Yeah, he did.
He wanted to see if his arm was still
He
working.
wouldn't be doing it if it was left-handed.
No.
Wounded.
No. I had a coach along the way that always taught me as a catcher. Well, that's the home plate umpire. Cooper hasn't been doing this. You saw Martinez put the glove on. They give me the ball, and Cooper just threw it. As a catcher, it's important to throw the ball back to the pitcher where he wants it. Fouled off. Keep the pitcher in a rhythm in a game, and you can help as a catcher when you return the ball, return it to where the glove is, so the pitcher doesn't have to think about getting the ball back.
My first year in baseball in Aberdeen, South Dakota, I played for Cal Ripken Sr., former catcher. And he would catch us and warm us up. And every ball was right. I mean, you wouldn't have to move your glove. Yeah. And that was kind of the badge of just doing it the right way. And other guys you're jumping over and
it's going over your head. It's the John Wooden how to tie your shoelaces instruction kind of thing. It's very basic, but it can be important. I mean, I know a couple of pitchers along the way who had catchers who kind of lobbed the thing back, who got angry about it. And actually get in the dugout, had the little stand-ups with him, telling him, throw the ball back to me. Runner goes, 3-2. Wieters will foul it away. 2 down. Markakis on to first base. Once worked for a ball club that had a catcher who could not throw the ball back to the mound.
Mackey Sasser.
Yes, Mackey Sasser had to throw a rainbow. It was a mental thing. He could not throw the ball back to the pitcher, and he was a catcher. 3 ball, 2 strikeout. Euclid playing behind Markakis at first base. Blackie with a 3-2, and Wieters down the line. Beltre, Hermida, Beltre. Oh, what a nice catch. The Gold Glover made that one look a whole lot easier than what it was. Wieters is retired as Beltre with his back to the plate. Tenzie's jersey. Here is Victor Martinez batting third. He struck out his first time up. David Hernandez. The pitch will miss down low.
Well, they need him to get going to get better offensively. I mean, 3 straight years of 320 home runs or more, or 100 RBIs.
Jason Varitek's forcing the issue a little bit.
Oh, is he ever?
Because Varitek's got a hot bat, and Martinez obviously was expected to do most of the catching this year, but Varitek's hitting .323, 4 home runs in limited play. That'll bounce away in the count 3-0 and Martinez.
Yeah, well, David Hernandez, you have a 1-run lead. He starts him off with a curveball, ball 1, comes back with a changeup for ball 2, and then Wild with a fastball, and now it's 3-0. Not a particularly aggressive way with a 1-run lead as you go the second time through the order.
Martinez gets the walk on 4 straight, and that's the ever-dangerous leadoff walk in an inning. Don't miss your chance to meet Orioles outfielder Nolan Reimold tomorrow at Slave Federal Savings Bank in Bel Air. Nolan's going to be on hand from noon until 1, signing autographs, meeting with fans. That's at the Slave Federal Savings Bank. It's on Churchville Road in Bel Air. For complete details on the Orioles community appearances, go to oriolesreach.com. Kevin Youkilis flied out his first time up. Youkilis will take it outside. Youkilis is 5 for 14 with 2 home runs, lifetime off David Hernandez. Red Sox offense has struggled a bit this year. They are 7th in runs. They are 3rd in home runs right now. Last year, this Red Sox team was 3rd in the American League in runs scored. That's how tough the offense in the East was last year. 4 of the top 6 teams in the American League in runs scored came out of the East. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Youkilis outside. The Yankees were first. The Red Sox were 3rd. Tampa Bay was 5th, and Toronto finished up 6th.
Yeah, so Toronto had over 200 home runs last year. Aaron Hill hit 36 of them.
Tough offenses. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Youkilis going for Bel Air.
Yeah, he's going to hit it to where Nolan Reimold's going to appear tomorrow. Bel Air, north of Baltimore. Well, there's your high heater. And a fastball count that kind of tells you what kind of fastball David Hernandez can throw.
Youkilis will take it outside. Kevin Youkilis had another good series against the Orioles a week ago in Boston. He went 5 for 13. He had a home run and 4 RBIs in that series, and that is not uncommon for Youkilis against Oriole pitchers. 3-2, runner not going. Foul ball. Hernandez facing these hitters for the second time in the ball game tonight. Kevin Youkilis' lifetime against the Orioles is a .319 hitter. He's had 14 home runs, 57 RBIs against the Orioles. That one got a chance for 2. 1 reload. Double play. It's Torres, Wigginton, and Atkins.
Well, I'll tell you, that's huge, and we always talk about it. You mentioned it, based on balls, they can be deathly, but what happens after the? And you could see that high hop, and it's Torres a little trouble getting out of his glove. The ball came up enough. Watch here. Now, this great view right here. The ball comes up, little trouble, and then Wigginton, Ty, with a nice transfer of the ball quickly over there.
Big play. That clears the bases. There are now 2 down. And that one will skip in the dirt. J.D. Drew, first time up.
Yeah, first home run of the year off of David Hernandez. Just a fly ball to left center field here. And probably what he hit it about 368 feet. That'll get it done in left field here.
1-0 delivery to him. Both the Orioles and Red Sox tied for 8th in ground ball double plays coming into this game. So both have had those jump up and shorten innings. Drew with a 2-0 delivery. A speed pitch to him, and it is there, 2-1.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting that. And just because you throw a fastball down the middle to hit it for a home run doesn't mean you don't throw a fastball. Even though that'll work. I tell you what, a way to pitch if you can do it. 2-0, drop off his breaking ball just to get me over strike, then throw an even better one. And now if you're J.D. Drew, you're going, I don't know what he's going to throw here.
Short swing, cover the plate. 2-2. Just miss.
Nobody, well, some guys do it, but he's one of the best. And you know, I had an article that said he'll never be confused with Trot Nixon, because Nixon was one of those guys that, you know, max effort guy, but he does get on base, he does hit home runs, and he plays great in right field. And Theo Epstein says that's hard to find.
And Hernandez did not get that call on the pitch before, and that is the third walk surrendered, 2 in this inning. So at 2 down, Drew is on, and it gives Ortiz a chance. Ortiz drew the other walk in his first at bat. Orioles have the 2-1 lead. They are out hitting the Red Sox 4-1. J.D. Drew's homer is the only Red Sox hit so far in the ball game. Wieters and Tahada have picked up the Oriole RBIs that came in the first. Ortiz 2 for 12 off Hernandez, and the pitch is up high, 1-0. Red Sox 6 wins, 7 losses against Eastern opponents so far. Orioles 3-12 against these. 1-1. Here you see this season compared to a year ago. Does have the home run, doesn't have the RBIs. In both seasons, the average was low. The 1-1.
Yeah, that's a pitch that he used to pulverize. Not that David Hernandez doesn't have a good fastball, but that ball was dead red, right in the middle. And he doesn't quite get to it. So when you do that, and this is what Terry Crowley said about Adam Jones, when you miss the fastball, then you start cheating, because your swing's a little bit long, and then you're more susceptible to a breaking ball. You expand the strike zone.
1-2 delivery. This is inside. David holds the all-time record for homers by a designated hitter. 275 in a DH role. However, this season for both of these teams, the DH numbers are not good. For the Red Sox, 163 combined with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs for their DHs. 2-2 delivery on the way, and down to first and foul. Just way out in front of that. Almost a reverse foul ball.
Well, David Hernandez has gotten 11 outs tonight, and 6 of them on the breaking ball, which is not usually the way he pitches. It doesn't mean it's bad. Just a little different.
Yeah. Runner at first. 2-2 delivery. Ortiz fights that one away again. David Ortiz this season at the plate has struck out now 19 times with 6 walks. 19 strikeouts and 53 plate appearances.
Well, what really impressed me over the years, I mean, obviously the RBIs and the power, but his ability to take close pitches. And again, as you get older, that slows down a little bit, swing gets longer.
That's up high, and it goes full. 3-ball, 2-strike count on Ortiz. J.D. Drew at first, talking with Ron Johnson, their first base coach. He'll be running. The 2 away. The 2 managers, knowing how important this series is for each. Hernandez 3-2, Drew running, and swung on and missed. Hernandez gets his second strikeout of the ball game, even though he issued 2 walks here in the 4th. back from the Maryland State Highway Administration. And a base hit into right center field. And it's bobbled. Tahada's going to try for two. J.D. Drew the throw, and it is not in time. A single and an error on McDonald.
Yeah, Orioles get a little bit lucky because Miguel stops at first and then puts the brakes on and then to the accelerator. So right here just doesn't come up with it. Drew's going to back him up. He's got a great arm. Makes a good throw, but Tahada in there. So if you watch him, he's usually right here. You can't really see it. You're going to just see that. But what's going to happen is he just slows down. But again, John Shelby, first base coach, says, hey, keep going. He does.
Got to get those kind of bases when you're not hitting well. Try and give yourself an extra chance, and they do. Modified shift put on against Luke Scott, a strikeout victim his first time up. Scudero's behind second, the Red Sox shortstop. Scott will take Lackey's pitch down low. Orioles now have 5 hits off Lackey in the ball game. Double by Markakis. The rest singles.
I would imagine when you're really scuffling for runs against a tough right-hander, you got to, I mean, the guy's at second. Situational hitting dictates you hit one to the right side.
Get him over.
Yep, Luke a pull hitter. Of course, he chases a pitch. It's hard to do that on. But he's been struggling.
Yeah, Luke's average down below Mendoza now, 197.
Well, he's trying to stay, just stay, use the whole field, go to left field. But again, it's a matter of, again, especially when you're into hitters' counts, which was the case, get a good pitch to hit. Can't do it always because deception, movement on the ball, you can't always do it, but the better hitters do a better job of it.
1-1 delivery down low. Scott getting a chance because he does have the 2 home runs and 8 at-bats off Lackey, part of the 3 hits he's had coming into the ball game against the Red Sox starter. 2 ball, 1 strikeout. Tahada at second base. Tahada's jump will be significantly less in light of the fact Scudero's moved over behind him here. He's got to keep a close eye. Scudero's right behind him, so he really can't see him very well. Juan Samuel has to holler at him. Check swing. Check at third. Mike Riley says no. 3-1.
Take a look, and this is what Mike Riley's looking at. And again, tremendous strength. I don't know of anybody better on this team that stops the bat.
And then he holds it there for the umpire, so he can see it.
Not a bad idea.
No.
Just in case you didn't see it.
You can see that my bat didn't go around, Mr. Umpire. Tahada checking. Here's the 3-1. Scott will take it, and the Orioles get a walk. So Scott is on with a free pass. The first surrendered by Lackey, and the first 2 are on here in the 4th inning. Wigginton coming up, going out. Martinez to talk to Lackey. This is who the Orioles want at the plate. He has been their hot hitter. And against Lackey, first time up, struck out. Ty Wigginton is going to have an over 300 month of April. He is hitting .273 with runners in scoring position. Among the regulars, he and Torres and Tahada have had the best runner in scoring position numbers. Now Tahada and Miguel on top in that department for the O's. One strikeout and Wigginton.
What Lackey was able to do in Boston after the early 2 runs, he got out of the 2nd inning after 4 consecutive hits by getting Lou Mania to bounce in a double play. And then when they had him in trouble later on in the game, Cesar Torres in the 4th inning get a double play. And again, when you're scuffling and you're trailing 3-1, as he did through most of that game, Wigginton would hit the home run to make it 3-1. You need plays like that. That's what he's looking for here. And he got him out last time with breaking balls.
Wigginton has grounded into 4 ground ball double plays on the season. They shorten it up on the right side in the infield. A couple of steps in on the left side. Wigginton will pull on the ground. Pitch is taken inside. Lackey pitching to the defense. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Ty. The Orioles got the 2-run lead. First inning, J.D. Drew delivered a homer in the 2nd to make it a 2-1 ball game. Now the Orioles trying to extend the lead here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Wigginton again pitched inside, again takes it.
Now, pretty good velocity, but the ball is just sinking out of the strike zone, and the Orioles have done a nice job of laying off those pitches. And then again, you get yourself into this count, which is a hitter's count, which you get Wigington anything up, he's been hammered.
429 average during the 6-game hit streak he's in. 2-1 delivery, that one tailing down and away, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Orioles again looking for that situational hitting that Dave Tremblay was talking about when they've won games, and there have been only 4 of those. Big average. The losses, though, 133. Overall, that 193 average with runners in scoring position. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Runners off first and second base. Wigington down low. Martinez blocks it, and the count is full, 3-2. So Lackey working long counts. There's nobody out here in the inning. He's walked 1, struck out 4. Miguel Tahada, single and an error to second. Walk to Scott. John Farrell, pitching coach, intent. Down to third. Beltre can't get it right under his glove. Here comes Tahada. No play at the plate, and the Orioles have a 3-1 lead.
Fifth error of the year for Beltre. Let's show you how that happens. There we go. Breaking ball, strike 1. Sinker down and in, 1-1. Another sinker, 2-1. Good breaking ball at 2-1, 3-2 right here. Get a baby, a potential double play ball, and Beltre just backs up. Ball stays down. Fifth error. And this guy won Gold Gloves 2007 and 8. Not playing like it to this point this year.
Ty Wigington getting on, and for Beltre, at least against the Orioles, it's been all or nothing. He's made all the spectacular plays, and the routine ones have gone by him.
Well, you know, it looked like he had trouble gauging the speed of the ball.
There's the lowest fielding percentages by third baseman. Tahada, Tehan, Brandon Wood, then Beltre, and Evan Longoria. I can't believe Longoria's in there.
Well, you make some errors early, and that fielding percentage goes down because you're only, they're only 22 games into the season.
Down to first and just missed.
But if you look at Miguel, he's got an excuse because he's learning how to play third base. And, you know, Beltre, again, they got him because of the shrine of run prevention.
That's 2 errors in the inning now that have helped contribute to the run. It was Tahada getting robbed by Beltre in the Boston series, so Tahada's getting a little comeuppance here as he crosses with a run on the Beltre error. Ryan Hughes and another one fouled off over the Orioles dugout.
Well, I am sure the advanced scouts are saying, because Phil Hughes struck out Ryan a couple of times. Of course, Hughes has thrown in the mid-90s and then dropped a couple of curveballs off. That's the way they tried to pitch him last night with A.J. Burnett. So I'm sure the Red Sox scouts said, well, maybe he's a better fastball hitter. They learned that when he took a Lackey fastball into right field and then the left center.
0-2 is up high to him.
That's a nice take right there because they're just trying to climb the ladder.
Red Sox have committed 17 errors as a team now. Detroit has made the most coming into today's play, 21 in the American League. The Orioles trying to take advantage of the 2 that have been made in this inning. 1-2 delivery. Hughes protects the outside of the plate on a pretty good pitch by Lackey.
But what happens, Gary, is when you make those errors, because Lackey obviously struggling, you get the first 2 guys on, you make a good pitch, 3-2 breaking ball to you. The Orioles' hottest hitter, you get the double play, or at least potential double play ball, and you don't turn it.
Danger.
Yeah, well, it's danger if Hughes and Atkins on deck can do something.
Lackey away with it, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Hughes flied out to right field, and his first time up in this ball game. Ryan Hughes with a chance to add to his RBI totals. He's got 3 so far in his first week playing at the major league level. 2-ball, 2-strike count, and the delivery, and that's outside, and Lackey again goes to the full count, 3-2.
Well, both of the hits that Hughes got in Boston off him were, one wasn't well hit, were fastballs.
3-2. Nobody out. Scott. Wigginton on. And it's taken and they're loaded. That is the second free pass surrendered by Lackey, both in this inning.
You know, Eric called a couple of low pitches in the first inning. They were on fastballs. What's this curveball? It almost gets the back door, but not quite. What an eye.
And what a chance for the Orioles. Now here's where you've just got to have a big inning. 1 run in. Scott at third walked. Wigginton reached on the error at second and used the walk as on at first. Still nobody out. Atkins, a strikeout victim, his first time up. And will take the pitch outside for a ball.
And you can see Lackey's disagreed. He hasn't really ever showed any emotions, but right there shrugged his shoulders. Eric Cooper, where was it? There have been enough close calls that haven't gone his way tonight to make it uncomfortable.
1 for 5 with the sacks full this year for Atkins. Slow roller. They got a chance at the plate. Martinez to first. What a big double play. 1, 2, 3.
Well, if you're going to swing it low and away breaking balls in a hitter's count, this is the result sometimes. I mean, look at that ball down and away. Perfect pitcher's pitch. He's in trouble. Not anymore.
Mercy, is this a big play? Well, the way you overcome that now is as Torres needs to get a base hit and get the 2 on in.
Well, yeah, Cesar could really pick up the whole entire team.
Now there are 2 down. Wigginton has moved to third. Hughes is on at second. As Torres grounded out his first time up. Whereas Torres this season with runners in scoring position, 273. Told you a good number. Just 1 point below what his overall average is on the year. Lackey with a chance to get out of this inning, surrendering only a run. 1-0 pitch, and that'll be fouled away. 1-1. So the Orioles 1 for 3 tonight. The Red Sox have not had a runner in scoring position. J.D. Drew just bypassed all that and hit a home run.
Well, Dave Tremblay's not happy with that at bat by Garrett Atkins. There is a saying in baseball: have a plan, know what you want to hit, and he just chased a pitch. And of course, he's been struggling. You come up with reasons for it, but boy, it really gets Lackey off the hook.
His playing time is in question right now. Talking about Garrett Atkins. I mean, with Hughes up, looks like he's going to get some time at first base and DHing. You've got Reimold, who appears to be healthier and ready to play. We've got Luke Scott, who's not hitting very well, but is the designated DH.
And the Orioles want him to do well. I mean,
of course.
They plugged him in at first base, hoped he would come in, maybe regain the power numbers.
And a 1-ball, 2-strike count on his Torres. Lackey bearing down now, looking for the third out.
And the point I'm trying to make is there's a big difference of swinging at that pitch with 2 strikes, and then when it's 1-0 and you're somewhat in control of the situation. You know, that's a pitch you try to read and take, and then get a better pitch to hit.
Lackey with a 1-2. As Torres will take it inside.
Well, you can see how out of sorts John Lackey is. If you look at Victor Martinez's glove, he's trying to come up the ladder. And he did a little bit of a Jeremy Guthrie where he just spun open. And he's having trouble getting his release point. John Farrell, his pitching coach, who we're looking at right now, knows that.
Lackey with the Angels last year, second in strikeouts, 11 wins. 2-2 delivery as Torres takes it. That's down low. And a 3-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down. Runners at second and third. The Orioles a 3-1 lead. Red Sox have committed 2 errors in the inning. Lackey has walked 2, yet has a chance to get out of the inning, giving up just a run. On the other hand, is Torres a hit away from driving in 2. And the 3-2 delivery. And it's Torres to center field. McDonald is there, and he's got it. And Lackey works his way through it. Only 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors, and 2 left on.
848 for Gary.
Orioles unable to get the big hits here again so far in this ball game. Do have the 3-1 lead though for David Hernandez. Bear in mind now, David Hernandez has already had one more run scored for him in this game than he had in the first 4 games combined when he was on the mound. He only had 2 of those, and those 4. 0-2 delivery. This is not a good night to be the home plate umpire. Eric Cooper again.
Yeah, he's not throwing that one back.
Beltre got him.
Well, you know, you try to hide behind the catcher. You try to usually keep your arms in. Again, you get the right shoulder. He's already got hit in the left shoulder.
2-strike count. Beltre leans, and the pitch was close. Beltre hit into a fielder's choice his first time up. 6-game hit streak coming into this series against the Orioles for him. He has gone 10 for his last 22. And that's going to fall in for a base hit. He's got a 7-game hit streak and a leadoff single here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, just fought it off. That's what you do. Not a bad pitch. Outside middle. Down. Got him out with a breaking ball the first time. Fastball into right field.
It's only the second hit David Hernandez has given up. The other was the home run. Now Hermida stands in. Hermida, 265 major league average coming into the season, with scattered times playing for Florida. Prior to this year, all of his major league time had been with the Marlins.
He had that one big year where he hit 19 home runs and then injuries the last couple of years.
0-1 count. There's hold the runner. Wieters blocks it, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. And here goes another ball game towards the middle. Tight. 3-5-0 for the Orioles. 1-2-2 for the Red Sox. That run the Orioles got in the 4th inning was unearned. Hermida, the 1-1 pitch to him. Center field. Jones. The deepest part of the ballpark right there. Hermida retired. T-shirt Tuesday returns to Oriole Park May 11. The first 10,000 fans 15 and over at the O's M's game will receive the Brian Mattis Baltimore T-shirt. And every Tuesday is also Ollie's Bargain Night, presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. So all upper reserve seats are only $8. To get yours, 888-848-BIRD, or go to Orioles.com.
Yeah, Seattle will be in, and in fact, Cliff Lee is making his debut. There is Maddox and Mattis and Guthrie.
See what happens when you're not up for 4 or 5 minutes?
That's right. When did he pitch last? Oh, last night. That's right. Out of sight, out of mind.
Darnell McDonald. McDonald popped out his first time up.
Yeah, he just missed a high breaking ball. You can see, oh, got that strike. I'll tell you what, it's had a little bigger strike zone tonight for David Hernandez than John Lackey. He just kind of dropped his arm and still caught the corner.
0-1 count, 1 away. McDonald, good .320 average, couple of home runs, 6 RBIs with the 25 at bats. And that pitch is taken up high. What an opportunity McDonald, Hermida have had with the Red Sox injuries, even if not to stay around, at least to have an impact at the big league level on their ball club or on other scouts who are watching. 1 ball, 1 strike. Short lead at first. Beltre. Hernandez. That's going to miss outside, and a 2 ball, 1 strike count. Checking down to third with Tim Bogar. See whether or not anybody's going to be running here. He's got the big hole on the right side as the infield plays him to pull. Wigginton's moved over towards the bag, and with Beltre being held, a lot of room over there. Outside with it, Hernandez, 3-1.
Yeah, he's going left, and again, he's just got a little out of rhythm. And when you go left, your arm drops. They see the ball better. You can't command your stuff, and Rick Granitz was saying that the bullpen, of course, this is not game. You're throwing in the bullpen in between starts, just nice and relaxed, stayed over, got downhill. But he's dropped his arm on every pitch for the last 5 or 6 pitches.
And he surrendered 4 walks in the ball game. He'd given up only 10 in the first 22 and a third innings through the first 4 games.
And this is going to be the growing pains of a young pitcher. I know he's pitched very well. He's used his breaking ball well tonight. I mean, he's thrown some fastballs in the mid-90s. But just going through one of those rhythm problems right now here in the middle innings.
So the discussion will be held to try and correct the mechanical problem, if that's what it is. 79 pitches. Only one big inning there, and that was in the 4th. When he got up to 25, that's because there were 2 walks in that inning.
Yeah, he was made a good pitch to get the double play. To get the 2 quick outs and then another walk and then what, a 6-pitch, 7 pitches, I guess, to David Ortiz.
Marco Scudero gets the RBI chance now. 1 away. And Scudero will take it outside for a ball.
And see, I think what we're seeing too, I mean, that pitch in the first inning was a strike, but when you're all over the place, you're not going to get that pitch. It looked like Eric Cooper could have called it, but you're all over the place. You want to try to coerce the umpire into giving them those close pitches, and you got to hit the glove. Wherever that glove is, try to throw it to him.
Scudero, 381 with runners in scoring position, but with Hernandez off the mark now, he's going to wait it out. And a 2-0 count as the Red Sox get it back to the top of the order.
And you would think the bullpen's going to get up because he's just lost his rhythm.
2-0 count, 1 down. Beltre's on at second base, McDonald on at first. He got good speed on the base paths. Here's the 2-0 delivery, and that's not close. 3-0. Birkin, who's been outstanding in the bullpen for the Orioles, warming up. David Hernandez, 4 walks in the ball game. 3-0 delivery, and he will catch the outside corner with that one. David had walked 4 against Toronto in the first start of the year, 1 against Oakland, a couple against Seattle, and 3 in his last start against the Red Sox. 3-ball, 1 strike count to him. Scudero waiting. And we'll foul that off, and Hernandez comes back and takes it full, 3-2.
Yeah, 95 again. Boy, pitching is so much about feel, and sometimes it just goes. Now, the longer you pitch, usually you have those little checkpoints. Am I staying over the rubber? Am I over my front side? Am I taking my front shoulder and my chin, my steering wheel to the glove? When you don't have a lot of innings, sometimes it's hard to do that.
Runners are going. Swung on and miss. Chance for 2. And got him at third base. Mike Riley right on it. Matt Wieters gunned it. Terry Francona had set him, and Beltre unable to get in. And that will end the inning. No runs.
get out of the inning.
More saving, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. So a couple of those plays tonight, we've had a strike them out, throw them out, double play on each side. It remains a 3-1 Orioles lead. Top of the order, Adam Jones a single and scored and struck out. 3-5-0 for the O's. The Red Sox 1-2-2. Orioles have one unearned run. John Lackey with a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts. David Hernandez 4 walks and 2 strikeouts. Scudero really slammed the bat and helmet down, upset it himself on that strikeout on that last play. That's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Jones. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Jones on the off-speed pitch. 1-2. Good ball game here. The Red Sox trying to preserve a 13-year record of having Aprils 500 or better. Terry Francona's ball club has got to win this to do that. 1-2. The Orioles would like to end it. Jones takes it. 1 down. 5 strikeouts for Lackey.
So a steady diet of breaking balls, and then right here a backdoor breaking ball. That's a pretty good pitch right there. I wish I'd had that on pitch. Started right at the hitter, and he catches the inside corner.
Now Nick Markakis, a double, a single, and a run scored so far for Nick. He is 6th in the league in doubles, adding to it with the one picked up here tonight. Orioles have stranded 3-2 in scoring position. The Red Sox 3-0 in scoring position. Lackey misses down low to him. 1-1. Delivery, and that's going to miss inside. We talk about a pitcher who is trying to just gut one out here.
Well, that's what he did up in Boston. The early runs, and he ended up winning the ballgame. And he had 110 pitches, got himself out of the 7th inning, and until they scored the 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th to go ahead, nobody was up in the bullpen. You wouldn't leave him.
He and David Hernandez are kind of doing the same thing tonight.
Well,
they're both trying to stay in long enough to get a win, struggling with their pitches. Here's the 3-1 delivery on the way. Markakis up the middle, gloved by Lackey. 2 down.
He'd been around the block a few more times than David Hernandez. 4 years where he had over 200 innings. He started in 2003. And then a 5th year where he had 198. Very, very durable until when Amber talked about the forearm problems, the elbow problems the last couple of years, so late starts, and that's why they took it very careful with him this year. But they expect him to pitch close to 200 innings for him.
2 down, nobody on. Matt Wieters. Matt takes a strike. Wieters has singled and popped out. Fine play made by Beltre, running towards the outfield on that pop-up in foul territory in the 3rd inning. Wieters are grounded to first base this time. Euclid backing up, Lackey to cover, and he retires the side in order. So we continue. Tight ball game here at Camden Yards. Orioles.com. 21-10. Here's Dustin Pedroia. Off-speed breaking ball in for a strike. Pedroia's 0 for 2.
Well, there it is, the Drew home run. David Hernandez on Sunday took a 1-0 lead into the 6th inning, and Pedroia led it off with a walk. And
Pedroia takes that one to right field. Marquez backing up, warning track wall, and goodbye home run. Pedroia with an opposite field homer. Again, it is a one-run ball game. The Orioles lead cut to 3-2.
Now, he's one of the better high ball hitters. Forget the fact he's about 5'7" or 5'8". And again, I mean, this ball runs right back into the middle of the plate. You can see where the target is, and Wieters has to reach back for it, but he never gets it. And he just sizzles one to right field.
Who would have thought Dustin Pedroia with 6 home runs in the month of April?
Well, what, he hit one on early in the year last year, then won 200 at bats. I mean, he ended up with 15, 18 the year before. He can hit home runs.
Yeah.
You don't usually see him, even though I did remember in Boston one time he went into the bullpen, which is a long, long way.
Well, back to a one-run game. Here's Martinez. He has walked and struck out. And again, the Red Sox continue to do what we showed you earlier, with 40% of their runs coming on homers. 1-0 pitch by Hernandez away. Tonight, of course, David Hernandez had not given up a homer coming into the ball game. Has given up 2. Will Ullman in the bullpen. Two-0 count of Victor Martinez. Swung on and foul tipped into the mitt, and a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, look at the numbers. First time through the order, 310. Second time, 156 for David Hernandez. Third time, 400.
That pitch count, when it gets above that 75 mark, it's when the average starts to fly up on Hernandez. Off-speed pitch, and a good one is in there. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Martinez.
Well, that's when they've seen you a couple of times, and it really tests your ability to make quality pitches with all your pitches. And it's hard for a young pitcher to be very undimensional and be able to pitch late in the ball game.
Just looking, Dustin Pedroia with that homer now. No Red Sox second baseman has ever had 6 home runs in the month of April. Dustin's got a little mark for himself in the home run department. Pedroia's got 3 home runs lifetime here at Camden Yards. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And that one is just going to miss inside. He wanted the call, didn't get it, and the count goes 3-2.
Well, you're not a lifetime .299 hitter if you don't have an idea of the strike zone. Well, again, you can take those borderline pitches. Our pitch track has it as a strike, but Eric Cooper doesn't. He's the only guy that matters, unfortunately.
Pedroia has 4 hits lifetime off Hernandez, and they're all homers. 3-2 delivery. Oh, Hernandez now really upset as he takes a long walk, holds his arm out to his side. He wanted both of those last 2 pitches. Wieters is going to go out to quiet it down. And you saw the stare from Eric Cooper.
Well, you make a good pitch, and it looked like it came back and caught the corner. Nope, it's outside. I mean, we want them all. But certainly the 2-2 pitch was a better pitch than the 3-2 pitch, and he doesn't get either one of them. And now you're in serious trouble.
5 walks. Surrendered in the ball game, 1 shy of his career high, which was against the Yankees last September. Kevin Youkilis, he'll take a strike in the outside corner. Youkilis is hit into a double play and flied out to center field. Nobody out, a run in on the Pedroia home run. Martinez on at first base. Youkilis to center. Adam Jones, runner halfway. David, I'm convinced, has the fewest movable muscles in his face of any human being on earth.
Well, you know, he's a terrific young kid, very quiet. You know, he's got a real good arm. God blessed him with that. And, you know, he's battled his way.
Yeah. He's got a chance to win a game.
Well, he does, and the other side of the coin is the Orioles have yet to win a game where they have scored less than 4 runs. They're 0-15.
So David.
Now it's up to Will Ullman, the left-hander.
The old man will come on with a runner at first base and 1 down.
Yeah, he was good against the Yankees. Probably threw the ball the best I've seen him throw it. Good velocity. Got the breaking ball over. A couple of strikeouts in an inning.
J.D. Drew 148 off left-handers so far this year. Does have 1 home run against lefties. He's got 3 on the year. He hit 1 in the 2nd inning. Drew a walk and was stranded in the 4th. 3-2 lead. First base Martinez. Ullman with an 0-1 count. Off-speed breaking ball, a good one.
Yeah, Drew gives up on him, and both of them on the inside middle. Paul O'Neill, who won a batting title with the Yankees, hit 305 times. So Don Mattingly taught him that's the one you want to hit, if you can see it out of the hand, and that's could be the problem.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. It'll miss. Ullman, coming out of the bullpen for the Orioles, has retired all the leadoff batters that he has faced. First batters faced. Good sign in any relief situation.
Yeah, the only sign that's not good is the 5 out of the 9 inheritor runners. Of course, if the inheritor runner tonight scores, it's going to tie it up.
1-2 strike count on Drew. They play behind the runner at first. And that's there, and Drew's gone.
Well, that's an amazing at bat. And you see that from J.D. Drew, and I'm sure it frustrates a lot of Red Sox fans. He never swung at a pitch. And he just peppers the outside corner or somewhere close to it. You could see it's somewhat of an inconsistent strike zone if our pitch track's right. Some balls are off the plate called, some are on the plate not called. But I tell you, we made a great pitch. And that's what he did against the Yankees. Good stuff in the low 90s.
Now here's Ortiz.
I don't think David not sitting up there maybe looking for a pitch.
Ortiz will take it outside. We told you earlier, Ortiz coming into the game actually better against lefties, 182 compared to 146 off right-handers. Now, those aren't very impressive numbers either way. I saw David Hernandez watching, hoping. Shift is on Ortiz, and he fouls it off at the plate, 1-1.
Yeah, he's not going to get to that one, even if it's 88, because it was well located up and in. Again, that's the difference. You know, it looks like it's a good swing, but you can see it's just in enough. If David Ortiz can hit him about as far as anybody out over the plate.
273 lifetime hitter against the Orioles. 28 home runs. One ball, one strike delivery by Ullman. Fastball will miss down low. And the count goes to 2-1. Grayson Birkin is back up in the bullpen because Ullman's on to get the lefties here. Beltre waiting on deck. Atkins playing behind Martinez at first. Here's the 2-1 delivery. And again fouled off. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Ball games this year for the Orioles. They may have won only 4, but there have been some struggles, haven't there?
Well, they have been because they haven't been scoring runs. I mean, it's as simple as that. Again, when you're 0-15, you're scoring less than 4 runs. Gives you an idea. You just don't win those kind of games. I mean, test your starters and your bullpen.
2-2 delivery fastball right back to the mound. Ullman's going to go to first and gets the out. The home run by Pedroia leading it off. 1 run. So another 1-run ball game, bottom of the 6th inning, and Miguel Tahada will lead it off. Tahada has reached on a single and an error and scored, and he's had a sac fly.
Kind of watching this game, and it's kind of a carbon copy of what went on in Boston, where Lackey trailed early, hung around, and then they came up with a 6-run 7th inning, and he went on to win the ball game. There you are. Adam Jones led it off with a single and scored the run. You can see early offense for the Orioles. Marquez with the doubles. Weeder got him in, and then Miguel Tahada with a sacrifice fly.
John Lackey with the 0-2 delivery on the way. Miguel Tahada slaps at the third base. Beltre, big hop this time. That is retired. One away here in the 6th inning. 2 walks and 5 strikeouts for John Lackey. The Orioles starter, David Hernandez, the final line. Couple of runs, 3 hits, 5 in the 3rd. 2 home runs. 2 of the 3 hits homers. He walked 5, struck out 2. Amazingly, with 5 walks, they did not score, nor were they really much of an effect. The Orioles got a couple of double plays, and that eliminated the walks. Luke Scott, his timing against Lackey, has struggled with it tonight. He's drawn a walk and struck out.
Well, the old mighty changeup slows the bat down. Fastball hitter. Power to all left field. And then the changeup, and that's one of his effective pitches. Again, the number is so much better against lefties than righties. They're almost up to 400 against righties at 395.
Lackey's yet another one of the pitchers. We've seen so many this year. His average when the bases are empty skyrockets. 348 with runners on. 295. Pitchers who get better when the pressure's on.
Well, again, he's been such a good pitcher. He had gone 6 straight starts going back into August, or actually into September last year, where he had struck out more than 3. So that 5 would have been out of ordinary for him. But he's got it all going, and he knows how to pitch. And that's the difference between a veteran at 31 and, you know, even a David Hernandez who's beaten him, is that when you don't have your best stuff, you try to figure it out. Can't always do it, but you've seen a vast array of pitching, curveballs and sinkers and, you know, changeups. And then again, the big pitch with the bases loaded, nobody out, to Garrett Atkins, and a hitter's count to get out of the inning.
2-2 delivery, and got him on a call, strike 3. So 6 strikeouts in the ball game for Lackey. And he's getting the leadoff batter.
Well, change-ups and hooks and all that. This ball seems like at 92 seems about 102. And again, a big guy. And a tremendous mound presence out there. He's not giving in.
His career high is 12 strikeouts. That came back in 08 against Texas, pitching for the Angels. As Jim said, this season 3's been his high. He's done that 3 times, or was his high. It's now 6. Ty Wigginton with a 1-strike count. Wigginton a strikeout victim, and he has also drawn a walk. Ty hitting at 313. Going for the long ball. Doesn't catch up to it, and count goes to 0-2. With the 2 home runs hit by the Red Sox in this ball game, the Orioles have now been out-homered here at Camden Yards this year, 17-7. Royals got 1. Drew's got the other tonight. That's a slider outside. Count goes to 1-2.
And that will certainly, when you look at the 1-8 home record, give you an idea of why that's happened.
One ball, 2-strike count, outfield deep on Wigginton. The Term Baseball Club has lost 2 in a row. The Red Sox have won 3 coming into this. Wigginton will take that pitch away, 2-2.
Well, 11-11, if you're a Red Sox fan, doesn't seem too good, but when you started out 4-9,
could have been worse.
Yeah, it really could. I mean, they got swept at home 4 straight by Tampa Bay.
The Red Sox, as we said, have had 13 consecutive years at 500 or better in the month of April. 1 shy of the record that's held by the Cleveland Indians. That one popped up behind the plate and no play. The Indians had 14 straight years where they had Aprils of 500 or better. 1946 through 1959. That's the record. The Red Sox could equal that if they win this ball game. Wigginton with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And that one's going to be outside, and it goes full again, 3-2. Seventh full count John Lackey has had in the ball game. And the 3-2 delivery fouled off. Seven full counts. He's still kept the pitch count fairly reasonable, Jim, for that many.
Yeah, it's at 105. And again, his defense certainly hasn't helped him.
Orioles have an unearned run. Farrell on the bullpen phone, and he walked it. So the Orioles get a 1-out walk here in the 6th inning. That's the 3rd surrendered by Lackey. Go behind the scenes with the Orioles on Facebook and Twitter. Visit Orioles.com/connect to find out how easy it is to link up with your birds on Facebook, or you can go to Birdland Insider on Twitter. You'll be the first to learn the behind-the-scenes info from the team. Orioles.com/connect. All the Birdland news you need, just a click away. Hideki Okajima in the bullpen, just starting to warm up. Fly ball hit in the air to center. Another rainmaker. This one off the bat of Hughes. And that will be handled. And that will do it. Inning over. It is a one-run ball game.
And they're about equal. Orioles with a 4.18 and the Red Sox 4.07. So Jason Burkin comes in. He's been pitching very well. 1 earned run in his last 5 appearances, over 11 innings pitched. But again, he hadn't been using this role very often. So what did Dave Tremblay say as we look at Lou Montanez and left? He said, you know what? I don't know who's going to get the ball. Whoever does the job will continue to get it. And Burkin's been pitching well.
So Burkin will work here as we go to the 7th inning. And a strike on the outside corner. Beltre is singled and hit into a fielder's choice. Burkin faced the Red Sox in Boston. 1 inning, no runs, couple of hits. Slug out and miss. A great breaking ball that was down and away.
Yeah, boy, it's nothing when you throw one, strike one, pretty good breaking ball, and then better. The Red Sox they're wondering when Beltre's going to get back to hitting somewhere in the mid-20s in home runs. Hadn't hit one yet.
Check swing. Did he go? Check it first. No. Will Miller.
Thought about it though.
Well, the umpires haven't missed many of those this year when we've gone back and looked, which they don't have the ability to do.
Yeah, they're just trying to see how far that bat traveled.
That one is a base hit into center field. So Beltre gets his 2nd hit. And it is a leadoff single here in the 7th inning.
He's really had some good at bats. He took a fastball off of David Hernandez and hit it to right. Not the power stroke, but again, you throw 4 straight breaking balls, and the 4th one, maybe look for yourself. There's the target. And again, it's not a bad pitch. It's just he's seen 4 in a row and makes a nice adjustment. I think if you're going to come back to the breaking ball, maybe something off the plate up and in, even though the one thing I noticed about Jason Burkin last year as a starter, not comfortable pitching in, better away.
Here's Hermida. They play the bunt at 3rd. He does not show. Takes strike. Hermida's flying out to center field twice. Tahada is even with the bag. Backs up a little bit now. See whether or not Terry Francona plays this to try and get just one. Hermida. No sacrifices on the year. Tahada backs up at 3rd base. Hermida will take it. Burkin gets it in again. And a 2-strike count.
Yeah, the amazing numbers about Jason Burkin, that he's better against lefties, even though he's a right-handed pitcher. 2 for 23 Righties now are 10 for 27. They're hitting well over 350. Right on the lefties.
0-2 delivery away. This is where the Red Sox this year have found ways to win. They have plated the winning run in the 7th inning or later in 5 of their last 7 victories. And they've taken the lead in the 7th inning or later in 8 of their 11 wins. 1-2 delivery fouled away, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
And if you look at their bullpen, again, their bullpen over 4 runs a game. Even Papelbon's been good. But the rest of them, shaky from time to time. Must be pretty good offense in the late innings.
Ahead on the count, Birkin. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Hermida tops it. Second base. 1 relay first. That barely. Runner's going to try and move up. Atkins and the runner collided. Let's see if anybody
He's calling him out. So you're going to get an argument here. I don't think they turned the double play, but it's going to be interference.
They're calling interference on Hermida, and Francona's coming out. I mean, I don't know if there's any way. Now, did they call that on Beltre at second?
Yes, they did.
Oh, they called the interference on Beltre.
Yeah. Well, he apparently, at least in Chad Fairchild's opinion. Now, again, they're not going to turn this double play. I look at Hermida running down the line. He would look at him hook it with his arm way off the bag. You got to be. I think the rule book says that you have to be able to reach the base. That you could maybe a little bit hard from that angle. The other angle shows you that he was well inside the baseline.
Francona's red hot.
Yep. Well,
it may have been that arm, Jim. I mean, even if he was within the baseline, you can't reach out and try and trip a guy.
Yeah. And the crew chief, Mike Riley, on the left. Well, they're not going to change this because this is a judgment call. But in a one-run ball game, it's a huge play. See, I mean, he's not even going to be close. Of course, it's hard to tell because the throw went straight down.
I thought originally that was going to be the call, but it wasn't. The call was at second base on the slide, and Francona, he's had enough problems in April, and this one may have fired him up even more.
Yeah, watch right here. Watch happens with, and then he tries to hook him with his arm, and I don't know. From that angle, it doesn't look like they made the right call. But he's going to lose the battle. The Orioles get 2 quick outs. Huge outs.
He got the arm underneath the foot of Wigginton as he came in right there.
Yeah, so it's almost like he grabs him. And that forces the errant throw. They were not going to turn the double play.
Then Atkins threw a good high pass protection block at first base on Hermida. Well, the result of all that's a double play, and there are 2 down and nobody on.
Yeah, Birkin makes a nice pitch and gets the grounder.
Big play. Big play. So 2 down, base is empty. Here's McDonald. He has walked and popped up. That's going to miss inside, and a 2-0 count. The one thing Birkin does not want to do here is turn this lineup over here in the 7th inning. Darnell McDonald hitting at .320, only 25 at bats, and not close, and it goes to 3-0.
Well, again, those numbers against righties, 10 for 27. Boy, that's hard to understand the reasoning behind that.
3-0 delivery he'll be taking and does, and walked him on 4 straight pitches. So he does turn the lineup over and gets to Scudero. Birkin the walk. If Tremblay checking at first on holding the bag against McDonald, says yes. Top of the order, Scudero.
And I guess the question is, can you walk 6 Red Sox and still win a game scoring 3 runs? I guess we're going to have to wait and see.
None of those walks having scored yet. Scudero, 3-game hit streak coming in, hitting .273, diving back in as McDonald at first base.
Well, I will say that there were nights where I felt like I was pitching around the entire lineup from time to time. I think that's not really the way you want to pitch, but again, you walk them. It's what happens after the walks.
Would not think McDonald's going to go anywhere here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you have a guy behind the plate now that's controlling the running game, and that's Matt Wieters. Much more comfortable with his footwork, making good throws. So if you give him an opportunity, we got Rick Dempsey doing our post-game, pre-game shows. If you gave Demper a chance, he's going to throw people out. Wieters has gotten to that point.
Wieters, one of the top 5 in throwing out base runners.
And he made a real good point today at the cage. I said, boy, you're throwing. I mean, it just seems like you're much more confident. He said, well, I'm playing all the time, so I get 9 reps. And what he's talking about is the throwing between innings. So you kind of, that's, pitchers get 9 warm-ups. He gets 9 times to work on his throwing, and they work on it from time to time. But Jeff Datz.
That one's going to be a base hit into right field. Big jump, McDonald. He'll go to third. And that walk that kept the inning alive now gives the Red Sox runners at the corners with 2 down.
Well, it's not a good idea to walk Darnell McDonald. There's no disrespect to him, but that's the guy you have to get out. You end up coming in, you throw Beltry 4 straight breaking balls, he singles into center, you get the double play. I mean, this is a pretty good approach by Marco Scutaro. And that's why they went out and signed him. But the numbers don't support Burkin pitching to Pedroia. He's just had trouble getting righties out, and I think that Wieters is going to go out to give the bullpen a little bit of time.
Dustin Pedroia has had a home run, 1 for 3. He's waiting at the plate as the decision's made on whether or not they want to keep Burkin in there to face him. Pedroia's 6 for 11. That's a .545 batting average off Jason Burkin.
And then he's not getting righties out of it. That's why I'm saying it. Normally at this time of the game, you're trying to match up number-wise. Doesn't have to be righties. And here comes Dave Tremblay.
He saw the numbers. Wanted to make sure the bullpen had time. Jim Johnson had been up and throwing in the bullpen, and there he is. So, another tight ball game. We're in the 7th inning, 2 down. Runners on at first and third. The Orioles lead is 1. Jim Johnson on to face Pedroia.
An innings pitch, walks down, sinker baller. Came in the other night in the win against the Yankees in a perfect 8th inning.
Key moment in this game. First and third, 2 down. Pitches outside by Johnson to Dustin Pedroia.
Well, the most important run right here is the one at first, because that puts them ahead. And obviously the guy at the plate, because that's an extra run. I mean, you want to get him out, but you certainly don't. If you can't get him out, you don't want that guy giving him the go-ahead run.
Pedroia takes a strike. Johnson has been hit hard by both lefties and righties. 357 by left-handers, 304 by right-handers. Had the opportunity in the save department for a couple of games, and that didn't work. And now the Orioles closer by whoever's pitching well. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Pedroia really took a cut. 1-2.
Yeah, ball up, and he's, as we mentioned, hit the home run on the ball away from David Hernandez that ran back in the middle of the plate, and he just crushed it to right center. And take a look right here, he just helicopters. It's hard to believe somebody this little can have such great bat control. 45 strikeouts and 620 at bats last year.
Jim Johnson with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Pedroia will have to wait. The Red Sox have been very good with 2-out RBIs. That's one of the reasons they've been able to win, even though they've struggled in a lot of areas. They're hitting .274 with runners in scoring position and 2 down. You compare that to the Orioles at .149. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Pedroia, he gets the base hit into left field. McDonald will score, and this game is tied at 3.
Well, again, you go back to that 2-out walk. And boy, that really sets it up because you turn the lineup over and you get to the better hitters. And right here, they go in. I mean, look at this. That is a good pitch. Bad result for the Orioles. But again, this is why this guy was the MVP and why he hits over 300 every year. Great bat control.
So David Hernandez will go yet another game without getting a win. 14 consecutive. Now Martinez. Now the Red Sox with a chance to take the lead. Runners at first and second with 2 down. 2 RBIs in the ball game for Pedroia. Martinez has drawn a couple of walks and he has struck out. The run, the responsibility of Jason Birkin, as is the runner at second base. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Martinez back, and it's 0-2.
Not a lot of history between Victor Martinez and Jim Johnson. Only one at bat, with Victor going 0 for 1.
Victor Martinez just 188 with runners in scoring position. That's why he has only 5 RBIs. He's got 2 on here, 1 at second. Lead runner Scudero, Pedroia at first. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Wieters blocks that in the dirt. 1-2.
And you get an idea of how good a hitter he is because most hitters swing at that pitch. That's how good that curveball was. Well controlled, down and in, starts his swing and then stops. Pitch recognition, you're not a lifetime .299 hitter. When he got traded, he came over to the Red Sox last year, hit .336. And he is just a solid hitter from either side of the plate.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to him. Martinez, one hopper. As Torres goes to first to get the out. But a run in, game tied, 7th inning stretch time, brought to you by Jack Daniels. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, and this ball game is tied at 3-3. As the Orioles had a 2-run lead, that has gone by the boards. John Lackey is still in there. He has walked 3, struck out 6. Atkins, Torres, and Jones. Atkins has been called out on strikes, hit into a 1-2-3 double play, a big play in the 4th inning. That'll be outside to him, 1-1.
Yeah, probably the biggest offensive play of the night. With the bases loaded, nobody out. Lackey fell behind 1-0 and then made a great pitch. And Atkins went after it, hit a ball right back to him, and they turned the double play.
1-1 delivery, and that's going to be taken in the air to right center field. McDonald going back, and he's got it. Atkins retired, 1 down. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates tonight. Pedroia with the home run and a couple RBIs tied the game up. Nick Markakis, he's had a double single, has scored a run. And David Hernandez, a couple of runs on 3 hits and 5 1/3. But for David, 2 of those 3 hits were home runs. Text in your vote A, B, or C to 51862. Here's his Torres, 0 for 2. We want to say hello to Al Bowers. He's recovering in St. Joseph's Hospital. His son Joe is part of our production crew here and wanted to say hi, and we join him in sending along our best wishes, Al, for a speedy recovery and get back to the ballpark. 1 ball, 1 strike count on his Torres. Even at third base, Beltre. 1-2. 30,668 the announced attendance. 30668. Couldn't have picked a better night to come to the yard. Outstanding weather and a really good ball game.
And Lackey's still out there.
As was true in Fenway.
Yeah, 113 pitches. High for this year. 111. That's going to be up.
Undoubtedly, well, I say undoubtedly, well, this will be his last inning.
Well,
Terry Frank going to leave him out, give him a chance to get a win.
Yeah, he is, and he wants to stay out there. Of course, that can't happen unless he gets 3 outs. And
2-2 delivery to his Torres and a slow roller. Euclid, 2 down.
I think one of the ways with a veteran pitcher like Lackey, who did have arm problems early in the year, the last couple of years, is that you just cut down the amount of throwing you do in between. You still do enough to stay sharp, and then even your warm-up pitches. So what's the difference? You know, Dave Duncan was talking about Chris Carpenter, who had some physical problems. He let him throw, I guess, about 117 pitches, but they just cut the workload down, and then you get an extra maybe 10 in the ballgame. And those guys don't want to leave. John Lackey doesn't want to go anywhere.
Chance for his 3rd win. Adam Jones up. Jones has struck out twice, singled and scored. The Orioles 2 runs in the 1st inning. Wieters, RBI single. Tahada sac fly. Orioles got another one in the 4th, helped out by an error. Tahada would score. And that one's going to be fouled off. The unearned run coming in that 4th. The Orioles upped it to 3-1. Red Sox responded. A home run Drew in the 2nd. Home run Pedroia in the 6th. And then after the 2-out walk, the RBI single by Pedroia in the 7th. That's where we are at a 3-3 ball game in the bottom of the 7th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Jones, a chopper towards the middle. He's got a base hit. So Jones is on with the 2-out single. He's 2 for 4 in the ballgame.
It's another running situation. I got to say that loudly. Because you really don't care if Markakis, if Adam Jones, and you talked about it all spring, well, I need to be more aggressive. I have to take chances. It's a calculated risk. You work on it, you get your jumps. You know, you got Ron Samuel over 3rd. It was a great base stealer. John Shelby with good speed. But if you get the jump, you can see Victor Martinez look it into the dugout. Because even if you throw him out, you got Markakis leading off the 8th inning. It's worth the chance.
2 down. And the pitch will be taken inside for a ball. Markakis a double single, and he is grounded out. 2-for-3 ball game. This is the 6th 2-hit game Markakis has had. He's had a total of 8 multi-hit games on the season. One-0 count. And they got him picked off. He was going to go. Euclid, and there's the tag. Put on by the shortstop, Scudero. So the wrong read on Lackey. That'll end the inning. No runs on 1 hit. With nobody left on base.
The 8th inning.
Well, these two ball clubs are certainly getting used to playing these kind of games, going deep, tight ball games. And it'll be Kevin Euclid leading it off here. Euclid 0 for 3, couple of fly ball outs, and he is hit into a double play. Jim Johnson stays on the mound. 1-0 delivery, and it'll be fouled off outside of third. So again, a situation where every pitch matters and every opportunity matters. 1 run, 1 more for either team can be the ball game. And you know Euclid's thinking about the long ball.
Well, he is, and Jim Johnson, of course, you'd like to think he'd be able to stay down in the strike zone. Very breaking ball for a strike.
1 ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, we saw him do that with the 3-run home run after Scudero did it in the 7th inning over the weekend in Boston.
Euclid inside doing 2-2. Lackey, of course, would be the beneficiary of any Red Sox run that's scored here. That's what he's hoping for. Bullpen still active for Boston. 2-2 pitch on the way. Euclid with a big cut, and Johnson got him. You would think at some point in one of these ball games the Orioles are going to have a couple of runs to work with, but apparently in the month of April it just wasn't meant to be.
Well, you know, we kept telling you that number 0-15 when they score 3 runs or less, so at least they got 3 runs. So, you know, maybe they're just going to have to out-hit the Red Sox, and you know, again, maybe somebody will come up with a big blow. You just don't know. You know, I think the interesting thing to me is that with Koji Uehara getting back to being close to come to the big league, you probably would have seen him instead of Jason Birkin. So, you know, down the road, and it is down the road, eventually the Orioles will get a little bit better. Hopefully they'll get back Brian Roberts at some point, maybe once. Same with PA will be back here in August. But until then, it's just a matter of, you know, that Jim Johnson, you mentioned the numbers not glowing, but certainly capable of being better than he has been. And, you know, that's pretty much up to him. He's got great stuff, and he just has to work on the command issues.
0-2 count on J.D. Drew, who delivered a home run in the second inning, his third of the year. One down here in the eighth with nobody on. In the bullpen, Bard, the hard thrower for Boston. Johnson with the 1-2 delivery and a breaking ball. That's going to miss inside. The Red Sox have just dominated the Orioles over the last few seasons. In fact, they've won 30 of the last 39 games these two teams have played.
Yeah, last 8 here.
That one in the air to center. He got a hold of it. Jones going back, and goodbye home run. J.D. Drew is second of the night, and the Red Sox have their first lead of the game at 4-3.
Well, it's a two-man attack tonight. Pedroia with a home run and an RBI, and J.D. Drew, the quiet man. Doesn't do much and watch this ball get elevated, and then it gets crushed. You know, he's looking fastball. And Adam Jones can't. That ball about, I don't know what, 5-6 feet. Doesn't really matter. Deep center field. I mean, off the bat, that ball's gone.
It's our Ford drive of the game. Here's Ortiz. Your local Ford dealer invites you to experience Ford like never before. Ford Drive One, J.D. Drew did. And he's got 2 of them in the game. 3 home runs for the Red Sox. Ortiz into the shift played by Atkins. He'll go to the bag himself, and Ortiz is retired. He's 0 for 3 in the game. 2 down, 8th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Again, the long ball, the difference here to the moment in the 8th. Jim Johnson giving it up. 2 down. Here's Beltre, and he was going for one himself. Johnson has surrendered the first home run in the 9+ innings he's worked this year. 0-1 pitch. Hernandez gave up his first and second home runs of the season in his 5 starts. So it makes Lackey a possible winner, and Johnson's now the pitcher of record for the Orioles. 0-2 count. And a little looper that's going to fall in. That's the 3rd hit, 3 for 4 in the ball game for Beltre.
Well, you know, they're pitching him like he can't hit the breaking ball, but the last 2 hits have been on that. 4 straight the last time, and that was off of Jason Birkin, and he served it into right field up the middle, and this time he missed a couple of sinkers and came back with a breaking ball, and he singles the right field.
Beltre's 3rd 3-hit game of the year. Hermida 0 for 3. 2 down.
And while they're not home runs, they're not extra base hits, it turns the lineup over. It allows guys to get up that if you were able to get them out, wouldn't get up.
Waiters going out. Hermida involved in that strange 2-out situation in the 7th inning on the attempted double play where Beltre was called for interference at second for upending Wigginton with his hand. And as a result, Hermida was called out at first base. For those of you who like to be technical, that is not a double play. It is a 6-4 at second, and then a putout for the second baseman on the runner at first. But it is not does not go in the book as a double play. 2-0 count on Hermida. Clay Meredith in the pen for the Orioles. The 2-0, and Johnson misses inside, and he goes to 3-0. Short lead at first, and that's going to miss. And Hermida's on with a free pass. It's going to be the 7th walk surrendered by the pitchers tonight. 5 Hernandez, 1 Birkin, and now Johnson.
And again, as we mentioned, they haven't really entered into the runs, but they have because guys get up more than they normally would. So, you know, Drew gets to the plate, Pedroia gets to the plate more often.
Van Every's going to run at first base. Jonathan Van Every comes on for Hermida. First and second and 2 down, and obviously here in the 8th inning, any runs plated are very big. Here's McDonald. He's drawn a couple of walks in the game and has popped out, the number 9 hitter and former number 1 pick of the Orioles.
Scored the tying run by walking.
Didn't have a chance to ask Terry Francona before the game, but my sense was one of the reasons McDonald will get a start in this game is just the added adrenaline of coming back to play against the team that had drafted him a long time ago, but he obviously still has some feelings about it. Here's the 1-0 delivery in the dirt. Wieters backhands that one, and the 2-0 count. Johnson falling behind these hitters. Played only 17 games as an Oriole. Hasn't played at Camden Yards since 2004. 2-0 delivery. And Johnson's behind 3-0 with a leadoff batter, Scudero, on deck.
Out of sorts, and I'm no doubt frustrated.
.3-0 delivery, taking all the way. 4 in a row to the number 9 hitter, and 3 walks for McDonald in the game, and that'll be it for Johnson. So the Orioles bullpen, Ullman came on 2/3 of an inning, didn't give anything up. Birkin charged with a run on 2 hits and 2/3, and now Johnson's coming out of there responsible for the bases loaded situation, and Clay Meredith
Normally he likes the ball up better, but
bases are loaded. 2 down. 8th inning, run in on the homer by J.D. Drew. Beltre at third, a single. Second base, Van Every, a walk. Hermida, he came on to pinch run, and then McDonald a walk to load him up. Now Scudero gets the opportunity. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him, and that's going to be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down.
And hitting 381 with runners in scoring position. I mean, that's a huge number. Best of all the Red Sox.
First chance he's had with the bases loaded. Wigginton's got to go get it. He does, and gets the out. So the home run by Drew is now
He actually touched 100 on the radar gun, and that was in his second game. That was after he gave up a 2-run home run to Adam Jones, who made the last out of the 7th inning. So again, this guy's got a power hook, and there's his defense out there. New left fielder and Jonathan Van Every was called up last weekend when the Orioles were in Boston.
Bard appeared against the Orioles in the series in Boston in 2 games. Orioles got 2 runs on 2 hits in an inning and 2/3 off him. Nick Markakis leads it off in the bottom of the 8th inning with the Orioles down a run, and that heater is inside. Bard among the relievers early here in the first month. 17 strikeouts, tied for first among relief pitchers. Second most innings pitched, and retired the Orioles, striking the side out 9th inning Sunday. Here's the 1-0 delivery. That's inside, and Markakis gets a 2-0 count.
Yeah, and whatever he throws, that at 95, it's a pretty easy 95, so a nice hitting count, though. You can see already a little bit around it, so the ball just cutting inside. We got to look for a fastball here. And
Markakis 2 for 3 in the ball game. 2-ball, 1-strike count, single double, and he is grounded out. Nick entered the day 6th in the American League in 2 base hits, adding to it with the 1 in the first inning. Two-ball, 1-strike count. Bard, who works out of the stretch. Markakis fouls it back, 2-2. So Lackey left working 7 and giving up just the 3 runs on 5 hits.
Exactly the same scenario as it was up in Boston. Early runs, the Orioles get another unearned run, and he just battles them.
I should say 6 hits off him. He struck out 6 and walked 3, new strikeout high in the season for him. Here's the 2-2 delivery, Markakis, and that's into the glove of Youkilis.
A high curveball, and will speed up the bat of Nick Markakis. He pulls it, but right there, what did he go, 1,200 chances without an error a couple of years ago?
Plays third or first, equally well.
Oh, does he ever.
Here's Matt Wieters, a single. Popped out. And another ground ball. Youkilis. Guard covers, 2 down.
A nice play because that ball stays down. He goes to his knees. And then you think all the pitcher's fielding drills will pay off, and he gets over there.
2 quick outs for Daniel Bard.
And right there, not getting by me. That ball did come up. Soft hands. Almost like he's a goalie.
Not Sunday yet, but down on his knees anyway. 2 away. Here's Miguel Tahada. Tahada has a single, scored a run. Sacrifice fly and is grounded out. And the pitch is taken down low. .274 on the year. Fastball hitter, fastball pitcher. Todd has not faced Bard before. Here's the 1-0 delivery. In the air, left field. He's faced him now. Goodbye. Home run, tie game.
Wow. This ball is crushed. Center cut. Foot down. Liftoff.
And the Orioles tie it up. A 2-out homer in the 8th inning for Miguel Tahada. Off Bard. Brings the crowd up. 3 of the 4 homers for Tahada hit here at Camden Yards this year. First at bat for Montanez.
Yeah, if you can hit the ball with authority to left center field here, you're going to hit some home runs. 7-foot wall, 365 to the power island.
One around on it, 1-1.
Well, 2 out of the last 3 games, the Orioles have hit home runs off Daniel Bard.
One ball, 1 strike count. Check swing again. They go to first. No. It's Will Miller down there. Bard has now surrendered 3 home runs in 14 and a third innings worth.
It just looks to me that his arm angle a little bit lower tonight. And again, you know, the breaking ball a little bit more flat. And again, a tall kid, and he can throw it there.
2-1. Montanez can't get around on it. Deep foul ball to right.
The ball that Tahada hits is 94. Well, at least I don't know what it was leaving the bat. He got reversed in a hurry. High is 99 tonight for Daniel Bard, but the ball to Miguel right down the middle, and he didn't miss it.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Bottom of the 8th inning of a tie game. Montanez is gone. Bard gets the strikeout, but 1 run, 1 hit with nobody left. Miguel Tahada.
And that's his first major league save. He was called up on Tuesday and called to action against the Yankees. Pitched very, very well. Threw the ball great. You know, again, middle 90s. Let down by his defense, but somehow was able to get the save.
Simon will face the middle of the order here with Pedroia. Martinez and Euclid do up. Pitches outside for a ball. We're in the 9th. Pedroia, big night. Home run single, 2 RBIs, 2 for 4. David Hernandez, John Lackey, the starters, both non-decisioned in the ball game. And turned over to the bullpens in light of the home run off Bard and the Orioles coming back to get it tied. Pedroia now at 302 on the year. He's driven in 18 here in the month of April. It's the final game of this first month. 2-0 pitch to him outside. He came up wanting to look, and so far they've been away 3-0.
Well, there's already been, I have 8 walks now. If we look at the bullpen, Papelbon and Ramirez, the right-hander closest to us. Not a good idea to. Number one, Pedroia can run. Didn't steal a lot, 2 for 2 this year.
Taking all the way. Simone comes on and walks the first batter he faces. Bill Tremblay's got to be in there just wringing his wrists.
Well, I think the people are probably sitting at home going, well, you know, why did you play Meredith out? Well, the reason is that at least the philosophy is you bring in your closer, you hopefully shut him down in the top of the 9th inning, and then you win it in the bottom of the 9th inning, which is a very good premise if he comes in and does that. But again, if you're Dave Tremblay, you're not Terry Francona. You know what you're going to get from Papelbon, because you know this is his 5th year with Alfredo, and it's not a negative thing. You just haven't seen him enough in this situation. So you hope that he'll pitch well and throw strikes.
Martinez, Tahada cheating it a bit. Martinez has not had any. He's not one to sacrifice very often. We'll see whether or not he does here. He hasn't got any this year. Switch hitter. Martinez 364 right, 200 left-handed. His only home run hit from the left side. Pedroia at first base. Martinez a chopper. Tough throw to second. Wigginton gets it there to make sure. Wigginton realized it was going to be tough to turn 2, and he wanted to make sure he got 1, so he really straightened up and made sure the throw got there.
Yeah, he did. Martinez is trying to take a 2-seamer and hook it into the hole and hit it right here, but he gets it on the end of the bat, and it's not hit that hardly. And that's the difference between making a ball in the inside middle or maybe the ball running away, and then the smart play by Wiggy. This gets a lead runner. And you take speed. Well, I thought you were taking speed off the base. They're going to pinch run.
Bill Hall out to run for Martinez. Francona making the change here, hoping to get a run in the top of the 9th inning. Kevin Youkilis up, 1 down, 0 for 4 in the ball game. Simone getting Hall back to the bag. 8 hits for the Red Sox, 7 for the Orioles. Knotted up 4-4. The O's the beneficiary of 1 unearned run, coming on a couple of errors in the same inning by the Red Sox. Youkilis will take it outside for a ball. Youkilis looking down to third.
Hey, Hall used to run when he came up with Milwaukee in 2005, 18 steals, caught 6 times in the last 3-4 years, because he had an ankle injury. Premier hitter, hit 35 home runs and had a pretty good lead.
1 stolen base this season, 1 for 1.
And what Alfredo Simone's going to learn at this level, especially with guys like Youkilis and the guy on deck, J.D. Drew, you really have to command your stuff. They don't expand the strike zone. I mean, now you worked yourself where you're behind Youkilis, who's going to look for a pitch to drive.
Down to third. Got 1, didn't get it, and the count goes to 2-1.
That's a little harder to do when you're throwing in 94, 96, 7, as he did the other night.
Simone getting a couple of real tough tests early. As he came into that ball game to get a save, it ended up being just by 1 run, going right down to the final out before that ball game finished. Now he comes in here against the Red Sox. 9th inning tie game. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Youkilis into the seats, 2-2.
Alfredo's got 3 pitches. He's got the sinker. He certainly has that at 96. He's got a slitter he overthrew against the Yankees, so they all stayed up, and he's got a hard slider and a pretty good changeup. That's why he does have starter stuff. And when they sent him to AAA, he had a couple of starts and then right to the bullpen, as the Orioles bullpen was struggling somewhat.
Simone with a 2-2 count, only 1 away. Runner not going. Youkilis down the line, and that's going to end up a foul ball into the seats. Those fans have gotten a couple down there. Not a lot of foul balls get hit that deep down that right field line usually. Simone is 28 years old. He'll turn 29 in May. Major League service limited. to 165 games, or minor league 165. In the major league, he had only 6 games prior to this season. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Euclid takes it, and it's up high. Full count, 3-2.
So now the runner will be going. Very surprised that Billy Hall doesn't go. And that splitter right there, just again, this is what he did against the Yankees, is unable to finish the splitter, so it just kind of decreased velocity at 88. But if it went down, maybe a double play ball, but now it's going to be harder to turn a double play because he's going to be running. And a nice move there, just in case you catch him. We saw John Lackey do that with Adam Jones in a running situation.
Euclid stands back in with the 3-2 count. Hall not going, and that is a foul ball. Bill Hall is waiting. He did not take off here with one away on the 3-2 count.
Kind of unusual in a way, because you have a guy, I mean, first of all, you have to throw a strike. Matt Wieters has to frame the strike, because if he doesn't, and Eric Cooper doesn't call it, it's ball 4. It's a perfect running situation, you would think. Of course, Terry Francona's won 2 world championships, so I'll defer to him here.
And you never know if Hall's 100% or whatever, all that, but let's see if he goes here. 3-2 count. He's not running. Euclid takes it, and another walk. 2 of the 3 batters faced in the 9th inning. Simone has walked. 2 on, 1 down.
Is that 10?
That is 10. 10 walks by Oriole pitchers. David Hernandez walked 5, Birkin 1, Johnson 2, Simone 2. No action in the bullpen for the O's. Here comes Jason Varitek. He's got to come in to catch, so he's using this visit to the mound as a time to do it. This is the most walks surrendered by the Orioles team in a game. They'd walked 8 earlier against Tampa Bay, with 10 here in this one.
And that, the guy at the plate already with a couple of home runs, he leads this team with 11 walks, or at least he did at the beginning of the night.
J.D. Drew, home runs numbers 3 and 4 in this game. 2 on, 1 down. And Drew will take the pitch for a strike. Red Sox with a chance to get on top again, and again it's about runs being scored late in the ball game for both of these teams. 0-1 count. Hall being held by his Taurus at second. Pitch is up high, and the count goes to 1-1 on J.D. Drew. He has also walked and called out on strikes in the game.
Yeah, coming into this game, he only had 13 hits. 3 to left, 5 up the middle, and 5 to right field. So spraying the ball around when he does get hits.
4 of them with runners in scoring position. He takes the off-speed breaking ball for a strike. And Simone gets ahead on the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, very rare show of emotion because he felt that ball was high. Splitter that just kind of floated in there.
Kansas City has beaten Tampa Bay 3-2 in their ball game tonight in Tampa. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery. Up high again. And it goes to 2-2. The Orioles have used 6 pitchers in this ball game. Meredith working just a third of an inning to get the out that ended the 8th. Hernandez, Ullman, Birkin, Johnson, Meredith, and now Simone. 2 for the Red Sox. 2-2 delivery. Good pitch. Simone gets the big out.
Well, that's the first one he's thrown that has gone down in his first 2 games, and boy, was this special. 85 miles per hour in the bottom drops. I mean, it starts in the middle of the strike zone, and that's what J.D. Drew recognizes, and just goes right to the bottom of the zone. He swings over it.
So David Ortiz, the designated hitter, will stand in. Ortiz has drawn a walk, struck out, and grounded out twice. First chance tonight with the runner in scoring position. The Orioles put the shift on.
You know, you wonder with 8 hits, 4 of them to left this year, that is he the same hitter? Is the shift going to be that effective? Mainly because, you know, this is the pattern where he used to hit the ball. I'm not sure with the way he's swinging the bat that he's going to hit. He's already got more hits to left than he does anywhere else this year. And then, of course, you got a flamethrower on the mound.
1-0 delivery on the way. Fouled off the other way. Not getting around on fastballs, as we talked about earlier, with a slower bat here in the month of April for Ortiz.
And again, you know, when you play the shift, it depends really who's pitching. Mike Flanagan was talking, you know, you look at the spray shots of where guys hits and the pattern, but who's pitching when you do it? It's everybody. I'd hate to be throwing 97 down and away and have my guys playing them to pull, because I just don't think that David's going to do that.
Timeout taken by the catcher, Matt Wieters. Ortiz 3 for 20 with runners in scoring position this year. This game is tied. We're in the top of the 9th, 4-4. The Red Sox left the bases loaded in the 8th. They left 2 on in the 7th. They've got 2 more on here in the top of the 9th inning with 2 down. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Ortiz fastball up high, 2-1. Simone coming on and already up to 22 pitches here in the 9th. Check at second base of Hall. 2-1 delivery. Ortiz inside. 3-1. Beltre has already got 3 hits on deck.
I'm not trying to get Ortiz out with getting away again from your strength. You know, it looks to me his best 2 pitches are probably his fastball and the splitter if thrown properly. So now he's gotten himself into some trouble. But you can't give in with a go-ahead run at second.
Bill Hall, pinch runner at second base. Youclis on at first. There are 2 down. 3-1 delivery to him. Ortiz fooled on the pitch, half swing, and a 3-2 count.
Well, that pitch would have fooled Babe Ruth. Another splitter, and the bottom drops out. And when do you ever see David Ortiz take that kind of swing? But again, it gives you an idea how good that splitter is if thrown properly.
Three-two delivery. Runners go, and he fouls it back.
And there is a bad one that stayed up.
Ortiz coming out of his shoes trying to jump on that one.
Yeah, if he had been hot, if he was in one of those red hot periods, that ball's going to be launched to left field. And then you take this, boom.
Simone again. Runners will be going. 3-2. Ortiz strikes out. No runs, no hits. 2 are left on base. The Orioles will try it.
Got a pretty good slider and a good changeup. So the captain comes back on the field and will do the catching here in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Jason Varitek behind the plate after Martinez came up for a pinch runner. So the Orioles will have Wigginton, Hughes, and Atkins due up here in the bottom of the ninth. Wigginton has reached on an error, walked, and struck out. Has a 6-game hit streak that he brought into this ball game. Ramirez outside to Wigginton for a ball. Tie 1 for 3 off the Red Sox right-hander. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the O's. 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Red Sox. Red Sox have left 11 on base. The Orioles 4. Wigginton, a strike to him, 1-1. Red Sox have left 7 on base in the last 3 innings, including the bases loaded in the 8th. Terry Francona's ball club coming in very good at getting key hits. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Down low, 2-1.
Well, you can see the approach by the Red Sox is to keep the ball down to Ty Wigginton. Real good high ball hitter. And we've seen 2 sliders and a fastball all down in the zone. And of course, what's he looking for? Something up inside middle.
Ramirez, a 2-1. Wigginton,
like that.
Silo shot at the plate. Jason Varitek.
Yeah. Boy, did he get away with that. And Wiggy just kind of shrugging. I mean, a high slider. Usually you speed up the bat. He had a very good swing, just popped it up.
Let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. You can still cast your vote. Right now, David Hernandez, the Orioles starter, on top. Text in your vote to A, B, or C to 51862. The results coming up on the O's Extra post-game show. So Ryan Hughes will stand in. Hughes, 2 fly ball outs and a walk. He's the designated hitter in the ball game. And Ramirez up high to him. Left-handers hitting .294 off Ramirez. The right-handers .304. He's given up 2 home runs this year, both to right-handers.
Well, Ryan Hughes, and it was the minor leagues, hit 25 home runs last year. 15 at AA, 7 at AAA. And then another 3 when he came over in AAA for the Orioles. I've yet to see him launch one.
Well, that cut he's got, it should be just a short matter of time, as he does get his hacks. In the division, it was Toronto over Oakland 10-2 tonight. We told you Tampa Bay lost. Kansas City beat them 3-2. Fouls that one back again. The Yankees got a victory over the White Sox, opening the series in New York 6-4, the final, with the Yankees winning. In the bullpen, Matt Albers indicating if this goes extra, Simone would not come back out. Ramirez, a 1-2 count on Hughes with Atkins on deck. Long time to get the signs, didn't like it, he steps off. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and he got him. 2 down.
Now it changes speeds. Slider, very much like the Wigginton, ends up in the middle of the plate, but it's down. And look at the glove. And it backs up a little bit, but ends up. Ryan Hughes, pretty good swing, but just over it. Ramirez with a very, very good arm.
Ramirez got a save his last outing against Toronto 3 days ago. Worked an inning, retired all 3. That is a strike taken. Save-wise, 8 for 12 for the Red Sox, with Jonathan Papelbon, of course, leading the way 7 for 7. Atkins has an 0 for 3 in the ball game. 2 down. Here's the 0-1 to him. That's going to be up high, 1-1. He has faced Ramirez once, has a hit off him. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Atkins not close on that one. The 1-2. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Atkins stays alive. It's kind of fun to watch Veritek after he gives the sign. Ramirez is very slow. Even after he's gotten the sign, and Veritek kind of sits there playing with the leather on his glove.
Well, he takes a long time to get the sign up, or the target, but it will get up. You don't want to move too early because the hitter sometimes can see it. That's nice and relaxed. There you go.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. Atkins goes down swinging, tagged out. That's regulation. We've completed 9 here at Camden Yards, and we're going to play.
Anxiously. Boy, when you manage, you think about all the things that have gone on, that transpired. There have been a ton of this tonight. It's unbelievable how much stuff has happened in one game.
11 left on by Boston, only 4 by the Orioles tonight, as it's the Orioles who've had the more timely hitting. But game not over. So here's Beltre to lead it off. Bottom third of the order. Beltre going after a 4-for-4 game. Pops that one up to second. Wigginton is there. So he's 3 for 5 in the game. 1 pitch, 1 out, 10th inning.
You know, an error by McDonald, error by Beltre. Lackey pitches out of a bases loaded situation. Nobody out, gets the double play, the 1-2-3 double play, which you very rarely see on a great pitch.
Interference call and a runner sliding into second results in a double play and ended what could have been a bigger inning for the Red Sox.
A couple of home runs by Drew, one by Pedroia to the opposite field.
It's been a night of occurrences. First time to the plate, Jonathan Van Every. He came on as a pinch runner. 0 for 3 on the season. A call-up to help out with the Red Sox with the injuries that they have. Van Every, a veteran player. Off-speed delivery by Albers. Did he go? No. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Simone worked the inning, got a couple of strikeouts, walked a couple of hitters, made it interesting, but he got out of it in the 9th without allowing a run. 1-1 by Albers will be in the air to left field. Montanez 2 down.
Yeah, nice little breaking ball. Well, Matt Alberts, there are a number of pitchers on the bubble, I guess, if they do make a roster change. But he will. I cannot imagine, when you look at the dearth of pitching, the lack of pitching in the major leagues, that he will not be claimed. Mainly because they'll look at the radar gun. And maybe if they have scouts here, they'll look at the last 2 nights if he's able to pitch well here and say, you know what, he's back to where he was a couple of years ago. And it's been a long struggle, labrum problems 3 years ago. Last year actually threw the ball a little bit better, but just couldn't get the sinker consistently in the zone.
Darnell McDonald, 2 down, 1-0 delivery to him. Albers retired the 4 he faced in the ball game last night, and the first 2 he's faced in this one. McDonald has drawn 2 walks, 3 walks, and popped out. He scored a run. Of the 10 walks, the Oriole pitcher surrendered. The one to him in the 7th is the only one that scored. That's another weird occurrence. Generally, about 500% of the walks, 50% will come across the plate.
And of course, McDonald, Darnell's looking for a ball he can drive up. And Matt's trying to pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. And Eric Cooper gave him the bottom.
2-1 delivery to him outside. Orioles 2 in the first. Wieters an RBI single. Sac fly by Tahada. Orioles got another in the 4th inning on a weird inning and an error, an unearned run. Double play 1-2-3 situation also occurred in that inning. Tahada got a homer in the 8th to tie the ball game up. 3-1 delivery on the way. Drilled deep and foul.
Well, these are the kind of counts, Gary, and you've been around the game for a long, long time, where the good pitchers are able to command their stuff. So, well, he's looking up and in. We saw Scudero do it. We saw Youthfulness do it at Fenway. But that's what 3-1 counts are about. So you either, the ball gets hit hard if you don't make quality pitches. Now, obviously, you'd like to stay out of them, but you can't do that all the time. It just happens. Make a better pitch.
3-2. Souvenir back. We will be right back with you tomorrow night, game 2 of this set. As Brad Bergeson has been recalled, Orioles will make a roster change tomorrow. He can start. And Daisuke Matsuzaka is going to be the starter for the Red Sox. His first start. Here's the 3-2 by Albers. Swung on and missed. Retires the side in order. We go. Second inning, his 3rd home run of the season to make it a 2-1 ball game. Dustin Pedroia got his 6th. That came in the 6th inning. Drew got another one that came in the 8th inning, and Miguel Tahada tied the ball game up at 4. His 4th home run, that also in the 8th. That one in the air to center field by Torres. McDonald is there, and he's got it. One pitch and one out, bottom of the 10th inning. Top of the 9th inning against Ramirez. He launched one.
Yeah, that would get Papelbon in the game for the second consecutive evening. It was where they had the 7-3 lead. John Lackey pitched that game. They got 6 runs in the 7th, and then the Orioles came back. In fact, that's when they actually end up getting 17 hits that night. Did not win the game, but put 6 runs on the board.
Jones has had a 2 for 4 in this game. Couple of singles and 2 strikeouts.
I don't think you want to think about bunting here with 1 out.
I certainly wouldn't think so. Trying to win a ball game maybe with a swing of the bat. Or an extra base hit. Outfield, of course, very deep all the way around. 1-0 delivery down to third. 1-1.
Well, I'm just hoping, as a former pitcher, that you watch hitters when you're pitching, and obviously from the mound, then you're watching on the bench. And the good hitters, they don't swing at pitchers' pitches until they have to. And Adam is, just been in one of those ruts. And maybe we're trying to work on shortening the swing. You can wait a little bit longer, but that was a good slider. 1-0, hitters count, and you're going to get yourself out. And that's what pitchers want.
Jones 2 for 5 with a homer off Ramirez, and was trying for another one. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Adam. Extra inning ball game to open it up. 7 pitchers now used by the Orioles. 3 for the Red Sox. Rocky 3 runs, 6 hits over 7. David Hernandez 2 runs, 3 hits over 5 1/3. The 2 starters. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Jones. And loop down the line, and that is a fair ball. Jones did not take off immediately. Drew in the corner will get it back in. It is a double.
Well, pretty good slider. He just serves it. I don't know what he's waiting for at home plate, but and now he starts to run. And he can run. Well, I guess he didn't really see the ball, so it's a pretty plausible excuse there for not running. You probably thought it was foul. Turns out to be a double. Now all of a sudden, if you're Terry Francona, who do you want to pitch to in this tie ball game?
I don't think it's going to be Marquez. Looks like they've already made a decision to walk him here.
Yeah, I'm sure their scouts have said of all the Oriole hitters, at least in the last couple of days, it's been Nick that's been the hottest. So why let him beat you?
So Marquez is going to draw the intentional pass with 1 down and first base open here. Nick will get his second intentional pass of the season. And Matt Wieters, who's batting third in the lineup, will have a chance to put the game winner across. There's Matt waiting on deck. Here's ball 3. Jones, the run that could end it, out at second base. As the Orioles look to win one here in extra innings in the bottom of the 10th against the Red Sox to open up this series. 1 down. Wieters 2 for 5 off Ramirez. Terry Francona will make his way out. Okajima and Del Carmen both ready in the bullpen, and he's going to make a change right here. It'll be Hideki Okajima coming out of the bullpen as Terry Francona will turn Wieters around. It is a 4-4 game, bottom half of the left-handed Adam Jones, a potential winning run at second base. Arquegas is on at first. Wieters has a single 4 times up in this ball game. 1 down. And Okajima feathers that one in for a strike. Wieters, switch hitter, of course, 269 right-handed, 294 left. 1 home run hit left-handed. You saw the 2 for 5 off Okajima. Ramirez responsible for the 2 Orioles who are on. No throw. Pedroia moving over to the bag.
Well, real important to try to cut the lead down, because Adam Jones can run very well.
Orioles have not won a ball game where they trailed after 7, 0-13. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to be inside. Orioles went into the bottom half of the 8th inning of this ball game trailing by 1. Tahada tied it up with a homer, and that sent it into extra innings.
And that pitch right there, first pitch strike, low, up and in. That usually sets up the splitter. And Matt looks for pitches like that. He's looking for something up in the strike zone.
1-1 to Wieters. It was up there, 1-2.
Well, he airs it out, but that wasn't a changeup. It was a high heater. Your interpreter's going to come see you. You said he feathered his fastball up there.
Just kind of floated in.
He didn't feather that one.
No, that one he didn't. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Runners off first and second here. Wieters takes it in the dirt. Veritek the scoop.
You know, Frank Howard once beat me in Washington with a 2-run home run. I lost 2-0, and I'm reading the paper, and he said, "Yeah, what'd you hit, Frank?" And he said, "A slider. It was my 7th inning fastball." So I saw him the next day. I said, "Thanks a lot. Not only do you beat me, you call my fastball a slider."
Nothing personal.
And he started apologizing. Of course, you're happy when a guy that's 6'8", 270 pounds starts apologizing.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Wieters, 1 away. Jones off second. Wieters will take it inside. Close pitch, 3-2.
Yeah, he just opened it. Eric Cooper doesn't get the right arm up. The ball's cut in. And Gary Francona, where was that? Well, it was well inside. It cut at the last minute.
Okajima hasn't pitched since the 26th, 3 days rest. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits against Toronto in no part of an inning. 3-2 to Matt Wieters. Another rainmaker foul. Wieters looking for a game-winning RBI. Eight batted in on the season. He got 1 in the first inning on a single. Jones off second. 3-2 delivery. Wieters on the off-speed pitch strikes out.
Well, don't tell me that change of speed doesn't sometimes get hitters out. And you could see again, 2 for 5 lifetime. First pitch fastball up and in. Then the high heater swings through it, trying to go down and in again. 2-2, misses 3-2, and then the long foul ball, and then the changeup. It didn't in the middle of the plate, but Matt's unable. terrific. And then, of course, nice night for Miggy. Single to center. McDonald will play it into a double. The Orioles will score a run in this inning, and then down by a run. Boom. It was whacked to left center to tie it up in the 8th.
Now a chance for the game winner for Tahada. Well, Carmen worked 2 games in Boston, inning and 2/3, gave up nothing in the first series. Adam Jones, potential winning run at second base, 2 outs. Del Carmen delivers, and it is a strike.
Yeah, local boy, second round draft choice, Manny Del Carmen, and last year pitched with shoulder problems, did not have a good year. Didn't tell anybody because he wanted to hang around, and not a good thing to do. A little different pitcher. We didn't really see 95, but he really, he's got a good changeup, big overhand curveball. He's got the captain behind the plate that knows him real well, Veritek.
Tahada 1 for 3 off Del Carmen, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Inning started, fly ball out as Torres, then Jones got the double. They intentionally walked Markakis, brought in Okajima, struck out Wieters. Now Del Carmen working with 2 down and 2 on to Tahada.
And the problem for them is that Miguel can hit anything.
Tahada on the off-speed pitch way out in front, 1-2.
He may look bad on a breaking ball and hit the next one. Nolan Reimold waiting to hit if the inning probably just wants to warm up and have Miggy drive in the run and worry about playing tomorrow.
Lackey, who started the ball game for Boston, watching on the bench. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Jones getting a real good lead at second. Tahada towards the middle, has a base hit. Here comes Jones. The Orioles win their 5th. Miguel Tahada, the game-winning RBI. 5-4. It's in the book for the O's.
Well, we talked about anything look bad on a breaking ball. Watch this one. Right back up the middle. Del Carmen gets it up in the zone. What a night. Couple of singles, the home run to tie it. Here comes Adam Jones, who had doubled. And the Orioles win for the 2nd time this year. They equal their win total from last year.
Albers is going to get a win. And the loss is going to be taken by Ramirez. The Orioles win at Game 2 tomorrow. Brad Bergeson back. Nice game at Suzuka as well. Masson HD, 6:30 O's Extra. Game coverage at 7. For Jim Palmer and Amber Theo Harris, I'm Gary Thorne. On behalf of all of our great crew, thanks for being with us. An exciting win. Bottom of the 10th. Orioles 5, Red Sox 4. This has been a Masson presentation. Jim and Rick.